save this banana.c4d.
Banana.c4d. All right.
Here, I'll share my screen.
All right.
All right. Check it out.
We are live. Got some music going for you.
Stop sharing my screen. Doesn't help that I'm doing this while I'm on Skype.
Right.
Oh boy. What happened to my screen?
Looks like everything's working. We got people coming in. What up, Impulse, Chris, and that's it so far. Live dashboard. All right, sending out the bat signal. Okay, look at there. Check the YouTube cache on Mograph.com. I'll share this on my Facebooks. You guys feel free to share wherever now.
That's off. Right. What's up, y'all?
Alright, cool. Jason's here, Dan Marino's here.
Who's coming to Camp Mograph? It's last week. Only a couple days left of early bird pricing. What is going on with my screen?
Probably something technical.
No, my stupid screen keeps on just going dark. And then it comes back up a couple seconds later. Ah, there it goes again. And, jeez.
Boy, we're having some fun technical problems today, aren't we?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are.
Yeah, alright.
Okay, well, this isn't gonna work.
What, all of a sudden your thing is just...
Yeah, it's just like flickering on and off.
Is it loose?
No, I don't think so. Let me look. Could be the case.
Man.
Or something. Hold on a second.
Some days everything just works, and some days everything just crashes. Alright, I'm ready to roll. Let's make sure you're ready to roll, too.
I'm good.
And as soon as he comes back...
Until it crashes. I mean,
yeah.
never know.
No, well, that's actually been up pretty long this time, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
Oh boy. List of audio devices connected. Well, that's great.
Oh, great.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
changing all your audio inputs?
Yeah.
Double
I gotta
check
fix it
your
real quick.
dingus. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and play this before the show starts.
Oh, application audition has crashed.
All right.
Thanks, Adobe.
I'm going to play this in the meantime, so let's let everybody hear. Get it in their heads, ruin everybody's day. All right, here we go.
Please do, if you can.
with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. I want to give you a banana, girl. I want to give you a banana, girl.
One, two.
Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. I want to give you a banana, girl. I want to give you a banana, girl. I want to give you a banana.
Each dropping.
I'm having issues here.
I want to give you a banana.
That
Amazing.
will now be in your head all day. All right, you guys ready to start
Gibson was
this
singing
thing?
that the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Emily's been constantly singing it. It's really funny. All right, let's do a show and stuff.
All right.
All right.
Is the feed dropping?
No, I have no
right.
issues here.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here. We're fine
Alright,
here.
cool.
Knock on
Stream
wood.
health is completely fine. So all right. Is everybody rolling audio now?
I am, yes.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Whoa.
It's the same question we ask every week. What is going on in here?
Yeah. All right.
Too much headroom.
I'm rolling here. Okay, so everybody's rolling. We're gonna do a sync. It'll be 1, 2, 3, and a clap. And
Cool.
here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Beautiful. Nothing's crashed yet.
Oh, knock on wood. Good lord.
Yeah.
All right.
I rolled back a version, so hopefully. I'll
Yeah.
do it.
It's been up longer than it has for the whole entire day so far. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna do the intro. Matt will introduce you, and you'll say hello, and I'll say, and Mograph is a supplement to the site, blah 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 blah, and all that.
Cool.
So, all right. Here we go.
Do it.
What's up, and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is our good friend, Mr. Nick Scarcella.
Hello.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. And you can email us, info@mograph.com. Info@mograph.com. Email us, let us know what you think about the show. We got a couple emails this week. Number one was just a hello from Ken, who says it was nice meeting
Hello,
you
Ken.
at the Denver meetup. He said, "Hey guys, nice meeting you at the Denver meetup. I spoke with you briefly immediately before your talk. Actually, I believe it was Matt, mostly talking about the quality and fullness of his hair, though.
It's very true.
Anyway, looking forward to
can't
the
help
next
it.
one. Hope you enjoyed Denver. We did. Now, we also have quite an interesting email here from Caspian as well. We're going to read that in a minute. Nick is here. NSCR.TV.
Yep.
You may know him from his HDR packs, as they say.
HDRs.
HDRs. What are the names of those? Is it just part 1 and part 2? Manhattan Nights, right?
We have a couple on the French Monkeys store. Yeah, let's see. I have Neon Dreams is like the biggest one on there.
Okay.
It's essentially like Manhattan Nights 3.
Oh.
Like same sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some like more like forest ones, and then I took some out in the desert. Yeah. There's like a good variety.
So
on there.
how many have you done total? I guess I missed a couple of these, or at least one of them.
Yeah.
I guess I'm on my like 5th pack.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, we knew Neon Dreams. We use Neon Dreams like crazy.
Neon Dreams.
I mean, I was using it a lot in this last project. With like the ones that are out, like you can get pretty far. Like there's a lot of variety in there. I'm working on one right now. That's gonna be all black and white. Actually, Liam suggested it. So
Interesting.
Liam.
For like metallic and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be LA Noir.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like I've been waiting around for like super foggy nights around here and going out and getting like these giant like light shafts and parking lots, and I think it looks really cool.
Man.
But like at NAB, like a lot of people were telling me they desaturate their HDRIs. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
a good idea. Because
Yeah.
you can't do that in Octane, but you can
Right.
in Redshift. So if I just made one that's just all desaturated,
Yeah, that's the
that's
thing.
something I
Like,
don't have.
I used to do that a lot when I was working on logos and stuff, because all of a sudden you would get weird colors coming from something. You're like,
Right.
wait a minute, where's that brown color coming from? You know, and it's like, oh, it's coming from
Yeah.
HDR, you know. Yeah. So I want to talk about more of that process when we get to our topic section too today.
Sure.
Because that interests me on how you're going about doing that. We have a couple things in the week we wanted to talk about. Let's see, number one would be Camp Mograph early bird pricing.
Camp Mograph.
It's more of a retreat. So the early bird pricing ends on the end of the month, 31st, midnight.
Yeah, which is like, what is that? That is Friday.
This
So
Friday.
ends Friday night at midnight.
Mm-hmm. However,
So get your tickets.
get your tickets. However, you do
Yeah.
still have a couple chances to either get a free ticket or a discounted ticket or something like that.
Mhm.
And we're doing that with the Monkey Legs Challenge. We talked about this last week. We played the music video little thingy right before the show. I did a sample render to kind of get everybody excited about this. We'll play it again after the show. If you go to mograph.com/monkeylegs, you can get the details on this contest we're doing. If you didn't hear last week, this was something that David Ariev and Schmoopy recorded on their iPhone. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do a remix of this and turn it into something. So I did a little EDM song to go with it. And you can hear David Ariev in his premiere. Maybe I'll put it on Spotify. You never know. You never know. So this is a Monkey Legs Challenge. The contest, though, is to do 4 or 8 bars of your own animation of something having to do with monkey legs. You know, let's get weird, people.
Should
You
it
know,
loop?
It can loop. Here's the thing.
I think it should loop.
It can loop if you would like. You know, because then we could loop it a couple times in the music video.
Right.
It is up to you. Looping is preferred, but if you're doing something where you can't do a loop, that's fine. It was actually kind of hard for me to do this sample and actually make the hair loop. It's hard to make hair loop, you know. So,
Yeah.
but I did figure it out. Now here's what you do: 4 or 8 bars of your own animation. The format can be in any aspect you would like, because I know some people want to be able to share this on their preferred social network. You know, you want to put it on Instagram, whatever it is. You know,
Yeah, dude.
it's fine. We'll take all of these though. All the entries will be put into this video as a music video in the end. So hopefully we get a lot. The way that you enter is you put it on Instagram and use the hashtag, 4 hashtags you need to use: monkey legs, Mograph, Camp Mograph, and Mograph.com. It's all listed on Mograph.com/monkey legs. The prize is going to be a free ticket to Camp Mograph. But also, every single person who enters in the contest will get a code if they would like, if they are planning on going to Camp Mograph, to get early bird pricing. So if you're missing out on this early bird pricing and you can't quite make it, you're saving up your money, there's
just
still
make a crappy
chance.
upload it.
Exactly.
Let us know, and then you get you'll get the early bird pricing.
And it's
This is my entry. It's a shiny sphere.
now here's
that
what I would
just
like
rolls.
to request
There you go.
from people as well.
Early bird
I would like
price.
to request that if you are, like, if you're not going to Camp Mograph and you just want to do a fun daily anyway, just to join us in this just for fun, I would absolutely love that. Like, let's make this go viral. It won't go viral, but let's make it go viral in our own heads. That'd be fun.
If you say make it go
I know.
viral,
It's
it
the biggest
immediately will
D-bag
not
quote
go
of
viral.
all time. I
Right.
know. I hate
I
that
want to
word.
make a viral video.
Yeah, guys, let's make a viral video. It would be great because I think it's just weird enough to maybe get like a couple of votes on Reddit. At least 3. At least
Right.
3.
The 3 of us right here.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Do it anyway. If you get
I'm
a
gonna
discount
downvote
code,
it.
you can give that discount code. Or if you're the winner and you're not going to Camp Mograph, you can give that ticket away to somebody else. The deadline for this is June 30th. And
got 1 month.
it will be judged by a couple different people, including David Ariev and Schmoopy. I think we got to get a couple other judges in because I feel like people are going to recognize certain people's styles, and I don't want there to be any favoritism. So we will have kind of a panel of judges. So that is the contest. So please, everybody, enter Monkey Legs, and I'll put a link to the actual audio on the site as well, so that you can listen in your car and annoy your friends. It's going to be the annoying EDM of the summer.
It's the hit of the summer.
The hit of the summer. Let's get weird, people. Come on. All right, on to some other things. Registration for School of Motion classes start on Monday. Wanted to put that out there. Make sure you go check that out. That is at School of Motion.
Summer session.
Summer session. If I could figure out how to spell school, I would bring it up. There we go. Do they have anything? Registration is 2 weeks away. Just wanted to put that out there.
Monday.
That's what it said.
So they've got
well, it said 2
they got
weeks
8
away on the
different
thing.
courses right now: Advanced Motion Method, After Effects Kickstart, Animation Bootcamp, Character Animation Bootcamp, Cinema 4D Bootcamp, Design Bootcamp, Explainer Camp, Photoshop and Illustrator Unleashed. So
Cinema 4D,
a lot of really good courses.
Basecamp,
and
right?
Knowing a lot of School of Motion alumni, like this is an excellent place to get your learn on.
Get your learn on. Everybody
So,
basically who takes School of Motion class just has such great things to say about it. So make sure you check it out. I have been meaning to get around to taking some classes myself, but I have not found the time yet. Imagine that. Also, we did finally get in touch with Andrew Price.
We did.
We did.
Yes.
Finally.
The Blender guru himself.
So I think we're working on trying to figure out scheduling, because that's the hardest part. We've been having a lot of calls with Australia recently, and it's been like really random, like how many Australian calls, and so we've got to figure out time. It's like 15-hour time difference for us, so it's we're having meetings with people like late in the evening, and it's actually the next morning for them, and so we got to figure out when we're going to do that. But we will announce when we're going to do that, so people can join in. And
might be we're thinking next month. We're booked up. We've got our guests scheduled up until the 10th of June for the next couple weeks. So sometime within the next month or so, hopefully.
Also, I would like to say that the new Rift, I'm enjoying it. I really like the fact that you can kind of see through the headset now with just a quick double click. The resolution for me has been the biggest thing. It is a very noticeable difference. You can see pixels, or whatever. But it is a very noticeable difference from the last one. It really, you can really see textures on things, on items and stuff like that. like really great not to have those separate cameras and all that stuff, you know. So
how often are they releasing like updated hardware for that?
Well, this is the first one in what, 3 or 4 years
Really?
at this point?
I don't know. I would assume they're probably going to do something similar to all the different game consoles. You know, I would hope, because if they're doing a new one every year, that just seems overkill.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it does. So I really like it.
You don't have enough people buying it in the first place, let alone buying it every year.
Right.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Dave would be the only one.
Yeah, you know, I like to be on top of that stuff. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't really have much more to say about that. I mean, you know, it's something where
Did you have to rebuy any of your games?
No,
or do they work?
No, you don't. And that's the thing, Jason. In Slack, we were talking about that in the VR channel and VR corner. You do have to rebuy some things, and certain things don't work, and all that. If you get the mobile one, the Quest. That's why I went for this one.
Still more expensive.
Yeah, so it's been really fun to check out games again with the better resolution and just feel the difference. It is noticeable. So, all right. That's all I got on that. Also, Chernobyl, man, I've been watching that and really enjoying
I watched
that.
the first episode.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I didn't finish last night's. I fell asleep, but it's really good, and it's really interesting because the way that they do it, they don't have Russian accents.
I thought that was a little weird.
I always think that's weird. Why would you? Right? Yeah. Why do you have a show that's based in another country and have British actors?
Well, here's the thing.
You know?
Number one, I think that's because it was shot there. If it was shot in the States, it'd be like, why do they have, you know, American English accents? You know, like it's because they didn't want to. I mean, what's the point in having a Russian accent? To prove that they're Russian?
Yeah.
You know, and
they're speaking English too. Yeah.
Well, it's like almost like a it's not a documentary, but it's like a dramatization of a real event.
Right.
So you're
like
looking
Titanic.
for realistic aspects of it, right? So that part of it was kind of weird because I didn't realize whether this was like a fictional like adaptation at first because they were all British or what. But like
well, there is some fiction
either way,
to
it's
it.
really good.
They've said in the writing, like,
sure.
there's a woman in it who is a scientist, and it's like she's actually a representative. She represents like 100 scientists in the real world. But yeah, subtitles is a thing. Like, I don't mind doing subtitles, and sometimes subtitles are like.
I normally have subtitles on while I'm watching TV anyway.
Right.
Just because I'm old and I get distracted really easily. So, you know, if something else is going on, you know, like my kids being loud or something, I won't be able to tell what's going on.
Well, here's a thought on this, and I thought it was pretty interesting because right now you have a lot going on in the news with Russia and things like that, and to watch this with English accents takes the Russianness out of it, if that makes any sense. And
I guess
it takes it out in such a way to where you forget that it's Russia and you just pay attention to the story itself.
I guess.
It's really weird. Like, I don't know. Something about it makes you feel different about it because you're not thinking this is Russian the whole time. I don't know. It's odd.
I don't know. I just thought it was Russia the whole time.
Yeah.
But I've only watched the first episode.
Yeah, but it's really good. I heard somewhere that it's rising to be like the number 2 show of all time or something ridiculous at this point. But
HBO had to do something. I guarantee you. I think that's some viral marketing thing that they did. They're like, oh, Game of Thrones is going over. We gotta get some people on the new show.
Well, it's good.
You know,
I'll tell you that.
All the teasers and promos were really good.
Yeah.
Like those were all edited like amazingly.
Yeah.
It's a very pretty movie or very pretty show.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to this email. This was a little bit longer, so I wanted to wait till we got a little further in past our weekly updates. This is from Caspian, and the subject is "You asked for mail, right?" So here's the email. One of the things you and EJ discussed recently was about the future. What will the demands on us be when we're quote-unquote old? What can us creative people do? The space is shifting so rapidly. AR, VR, as you mentioned, it keeps me up every now and then too, especially as I just left a global mega corp to start my own agency with a friend. Today I was introduced to The Fabricant, which is thefabricant.com. Maybe worthy of a show topic. I don't think you've talked about it. Showing the world that clothing does not need to be physical to exist. My initial reaction was, what is wrong with these people? This is totally unnecessary. But then I began to realize a few things. Someone who is paying $90,000 for a one-off piece of horticulture is probably responsible in part for a massive impact on the environment for an item that will only be worn once. But buying this one-off digital clothing bought with blockchain technology, so it's not possible for anyone else to have it, for use in an Instagram post has significantly lower environmental impact. The skills required to tailor them is in the realms of us digital artists. Okay, well, out of my league right now. But possibly it's also a time waste, but accepting there will always be super wealthy people doing what they want to appear to be special to the masses, it's probably better that it has lesser impact on our planet. Also, the one-off digital products secured by blockchain is a fascinating idea. In a way, moving back to the bespoke tailors and craftsmen of the past. I'd like to be creator of bespoke one-off content for individuals when I'm older, not companies, but less pretentious than digital fashion. Have a great weekend. Thanks for helping me along my creative journey and also for changing your name. It was a good thing that I think is having a positive effect. Cheers, Caspian. So, I checked out this site. I'll have to bring it up again. It is, where was it? Thefabricant.com.
The Fabricant, yeah.
The Fabricant. This is really interesting. And it's interesting that you cannot copy the digital goods because it's like a whole blockchain thing. And so I'm guessing that this would be fashion. Oops, I went to the wrong screen.
I don't know how they do that.
Wait, I'm kind of confused about that.
So
yeah, that doesn't.
Well, because on the site
sense.
you can download some of the.
Well, it's
pieces.
probably samples, right?
Sure.
Or maybe
I hate the phrase blockchain technology.
yeah.
I've done way too many videos where like blockchain technology. We're using blockchain technology.
Right.
Okay, that's great.
It's
buzzing.
just
How is
because
that supposed to stop people from using this in another product?
Because
project?
it allows it to be secure.
I guess.
I mean, you can't copy it that way. I mean, it's like you can't copy Bitcoin. You know?
Yeah, but
You wouldn't download a car, would you?
What is this? Is this? I don't understand what this is. Is this like a Marvelous Designer thing?
I mean, it could be. So think about the world of digital fashion and Instagram and pieces that you're never going to wear anyway. Think about like the Beeple clothing that's coming out that is too expensive for us to even purchase.
Yeah, but
you know,
that's the.
It's
I think
more
that's
about looking at it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you see these pieces of fashion one time on some sort of runway anyway, and you never wear it. It's almost like, well, what's the point of even making it? Let's just design it and look at it. I don't know. But or think about these Instagram models and stuff, like digital stars. There's going to be movie stars or Instagram stars that aren't real people very soon. Or, you know, you mix it with a combination of people and what do you call it? Deep fakes, or I don't know. Like there's going to be like non-real human stars pretty soon on Instagram that really, I'm sure there already are some. Yeah. So
yeah, dude. Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders.
Buff Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
He's not real, right? And he just a fake head?
Not anymore. He's not real. But again, like there's so many weird areas like this. There's areas that we don't even know yet. You know, that we don't even know exist yet, and so it's coming. So this is why we got to be ready, and we got to be like thinking about real time and thinking about programming and all this other stuff. It's like, you know, how are we going to keep up? And I think that this is a good example. So
word.
anyway, what I wanted to move on to Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor? We're already there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, we got
a short week
no,
last
we
week.
got a lot of topics.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. So, all right. So, Nick, you sent me this. This is called Arnold Does Emily.
Oh yeah, this is kind of old, but it's definitely the greatest Arnold tutorial out there.
I never even saw this.
You have to listen to it to get it.
So,
But
yeah, but
it's
it's okay. Tell me about this because it's somebody who sounds like Arnold, and they're doing Arnold,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I don't know how they got this, but like it's the whole Arnold like tutorial of just like texturing a person off of like some digital assets, but done in like Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
Did a person actually do this, or is there some sort of voice?
No, it sounds
creator?
real. Maybe they had someone like a voice actor do it. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't sound synthesized.
It's funny because now you can't even tell. Like these days, it's like, is it real or fake? Even with video.
Yeah.
So then,
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is just a really big fan of Cinema 4D.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's
That makes
also
sense.
that possibility.
Yeah.
He's Arnold, and he loves Arnold for that
But
reason.
it's actually a really good tutorial. Like outside of the joke,
yeah.
it's actually super useful.
I just stuck that in there from the link section because it is a render engine thing, but
Yeah.
But as far as render engines, Redshift 3 beta came out this week. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of positive things, less crashes from some people.
I've heard a lot of crashes.
Maybe that's the one because there was a point update for it as well.
Well, there was 3.0 and then there was 3.0001 or something like that.
Right. Maybe
Which
it got
I don't
rid of some
know.
of
I
those.
don't know how stable it is now.
And so, Nick, you use both Redshift and Octane.
Yeah, I like to get my hands on everything. I'll try out any engine, but actually Redshift doesn't work on my computer.
Really?
I don't understand.
really?
I've talked to everybody about this, but like nobody can figure it out.
What do you
Like,
have? You've got a Threadripper.
Yeah, I'm on a Threadripper and a Zenith Extreme. Or Zenith something. I forget what the motherboard
What's
is.
the card though?
I have two 1080 Ti's, a 1070 and a 1060. But it's a
That's
weird combination. But yeah, like it just slows down my computer like to a crawl. Like whenever anything like related to Redshift,
I
is
know
it
what you're
cheaper?
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
it's intermittent though. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I can use it and sometimes I can't. But like I just kind of stopped trying. I posted in the forums about it and like no one knew what was up. And like, I've talked to people with the same build and they don't have the issues. So
That's weird.
I don't know.
So
Something's going on. I really like Redshift. I think it's awesome. I still use it a lot, but
and then Octane has 2018.1.3 for Cinema 4D. That's the latest stable build that just came out this week as well. I'm looking to I haven't updated a couple point versions. I'm hoping that we can get this NVLink thing going. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And then in the Octane Facebook group, there was this post a couple days ago. It really kind of irked me, and I thought it would be a good topic to bring up because somebody was, first of all, just being a complete D-bag in this, but it brought up a good point that I thought I don't know. Is there, how do I put this? Okay, I'll tell you what the post was first. Okay, there was a watch. Somebody posted a watch, and they said, "I got this watch from somewhere, and I downloaded it, and I retextured it, and I did these HDRs, and I got the lighting right, and I did all this stuff, and I finished it." And this guy was just such a complete D-bag, and he posts in there that like something to the effect of like, "Oh, so you just took an HDR and put it over a model, and then you just said it was yours." And it's like, well, like at what point do you get credit for what you do? Can you not get credit for posting something that is a model that you relit yourself. Like that's not enough. Do you have to build it? You know, what would make somebody like this a-hole be happy? Oh, well, you have to model the watch yourself. Like, at what point does it matter? Like, I get if somebody took something that already existed and posted it as their own. Okay, that's
Does this person delete their post?
Yeah, I can't find it.
I mean, it was there like recently.
I found like a response post.
And
Weird.
So I don't know. I get super upset about posts like this because there is no reason that anybody has to be like a complete dick. You know, like people are trying to learn. People are trying to post on Octane. There's no rules for the most part in the Octane group. It's like there are no rules. You just post something. If you worked on something really hard, it's like when a client calls you and they need, let's say a buffalo created, like the other day when someone calls for buffalo, I didn't create the buffalo from scratch. I did all the hair and some texturing, but I didn't do the actual buffalo, and I didn't do the run cycle. Does that mean that I could never post that? I can never post that because somebody else made the model. At what point will people like this be happy? You know, you have to do everything at the command line in order for it to be real. Well, you use Cinema 4D. It helps you make shapes. You didn't actually create that shape with code. Like, at what point is it just absolutely ridiculous that like, why do people need to still post like this? Why is there still this culture of putting people down and telling them they're bad? If it's a good-looking watch, it's a good-looking watch.
Yeah.
And your client's not going to care.
You know, there's a lot of people in our industry who, like, just don't model, you know?
Of course.
They you know, they'll buy assets and stuff like that, and their strength may not be in modeling, but their strength may be in, like, lighting and texturing and stuff like that, you know? I'm a decent modeler. I could probably model something relatively quickly, but my strength isn't necessarily in texturing, you know? So it's like...
Or it's like, oh, there's an HDR. That's a Grayscale Gorilla HDR. And that's a model that you got somewhere. So what? You're putting them together. You're using your tools to put these things together to make things for people. Yeah, Beeple, like Gav Grant says, Beeple takes all sorts of stuff. That's what Kitbatch is in the first place.
Yeah.
They build these elements for you to bring into these things. Models you buy in Turbo Squid, at what point is it just absolutely... Sorry, I'm ranting because it really got to me. Why does this person have to do this to feel good about it's to feel good about themselves. That's why anybody posts that kind of thing on Facebook or on any system to put down a render. You know, it's not even like, you know, sometimes someone will post a render and it's clearly they're a noob, right?
Yeah.
They're clearly new at what they do. And so the best thing to do is to offer constructive criticism. Or somebody will post and you're like, yeah, that's not really that good. But you don't just blatantly go out there and just completely bash the person and tell them that they suck. There is nothing helpful about that kind of talk whatsoever. How does that help?
Yeah.
How does it help the person?
It's not going to get you very far in your career if that's the way you treat, you know, all the, you know, each thing that you see. You know, if there's no sense of... So, back when I was in high school, we did a TV show, you know, and I had, like, a really sour attitude when I was directing the TV show. I wanted everything to be perfect, and I'd yell at people when they weren't doing it right, blah, 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 you know. And I pissed a lot of people off that way and realized we weren't going to get very far if that's the way, you know, I was going to be. Then coming into college and going into doing some directing some of the classes and stuff, like, I took that advice from high school where, you know, I knew it wasn't going to get me far, and, like, I was the most chill, relaxed director we'd have, and people were very positive and very, you know, would take criticism and stuff like that very well. So it's like there's no point in just kind of being a dick about it, you know, because it's not going to get you anywhere in this industry or in anything.
Phil says that Tom Glimpse should have moderated and, like, banned the person, but I think it's good to keep it up because it just draws attention and just shows, hey, like all it's doing is showing what an a-hole this guy is. Because he goes on, like later on, he responds to different parts of the threads, and he was like ranting about millennials and all this kind of stuff. It's like, dude, like you're making yourself look like a complete asshole right now. It's just like, don't be that person that just like, really, are you that good? Are you that good that you can say this to this person? Because I don't think so. Yeah. Because I think if somebody goes to the guy who did the actual post and asked them for a watch, and he did this, and he delivered it to the client, he'd make his money. And guess what? He's probably going to make the same amount of money you would have if you would have modeled that watch from scratch. So is it really that important that he modeled it himself? Tesla Rock says, I'm an okay modeler, and I envy guys like Beeple, Ariev, Mitch Myers, who can create new different perspective and emotions with different shaders, lighting, camera animations. That's the whole point. I don't know. I don't know. Like Beeple, he always says that he can't model, and then he kind of does this kind of, different way of doing it. Basically, just like a lot of us, I think it's one of those things where you can kind of model to get the stuff done that you need to do, kind of like me, but I'm not freaking MotionWorks or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
John Dickinson.
It's like, I'm not doing it like fully the correct way. But again...
But if you're not taking advantage of the amount of assets that are out there, then you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Yeah, you're not using your time effectively, because every second really counts, when you're under the gun, it makes no sense to not use stuff that's available for relatively low prices. I mean, you are doing it wrong.
I get someone who takes a lot of pride in the fact that they can model well. Like, for example, we were, I wanted to do a little banana animation for the monkey legs thing. I was like, okay, how would I model a banana? And then I was like, let me just go look on Turbo Squid and see if there's a banana, which me personally, I don't love using pre-made models and stuff. I love modeling it myself, but that's just a pride thing. You got to get back. You got to get past.
Yeah.
EJ from iDesign actually just posted a link relative to this, and this is something that Beeple posted, which was let's see if I have a day on this. EJ posted something on May 23rd, and Beeple replied, and he said, I always go back to this image someone sent me once. And it says, I thought using loops was cheating, so I programmed my own using samples. And then I thought using samples was cheating, so I recorded real drums. And then I thought that programming it was cheating, so I learned to play drums for real. I then thought using bot drums was cheating, so I learned to make my own. And then thought using pre-made skins was cheating, so I killed a goat and skinned it. And then I thought that was cheating too, so I grew my own goat from a baby goat. I also think that's cheating, but I'm not sure where to go from here. I haven't made any music lately, what with the goat farming and all. So it's so true. Like, at what point, are you going to have to make your own HDRs pretty soon? You can't use Nicks anymore.
Hey.
Yeah. You didn't make that HDR. It's like, at what point? Like, you're not.
I mean, those are just buildings that are already there, Like, you didn't model all those buildings and then create an HDR from it.
You didnn't make
that's how
you took a picture, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's how this whole thing started, actually.
Yeah.
Like, when I was doing this scene where I needed, like, all those kinds of reflections, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I couldn't find an image out there to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually, like, modeling and texturing buildings to have reflected. And then I was like, I wonder if I could just, like, put a picture and project that into the scene. And so I just started, like, with random stuff off of Google. I was like, wait, I'm like a couple of blocks from Times Square. Let me just go down there and, like, see what I can do. That's how it started. That's literally how it started.
I'll make my own HDRs with hookers and blackjack.
Yeah, well, I was like, it's easy.
Yeah. So let's talk about
Did you have to Photoshop everyone out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do that. I do that now. I used to not. But yeah, it's a real pain.
So let's talk about the process a little bit. I want to know about this.
Sure.
So let's say, okay, let's the one, the Manhattan Nights, the New York one that David Ariev used on the racetrack thing for Deadmau5.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that HDR in particular, just as a sample. So that one, I believe that was done in, was that a Times Square one?
No,
or is similar to
that
Times
was,
Square?
Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. It's a subway station. I can find it.
Okay, it kind of looks
I
like
know
that
exactly
kind of
which one it
feel. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like
it has this like hexagon tiling on the ceiling.
yes, that's right.
God, I moved out of New York a year ago. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well,
but I know exactly what it
Yeah.
is. But like, I use the Ricoh Theta 5,
okay.
which is a 360 camera. I actually have it.
Now
it's
I have an
like-
old one. Are these new ones? Do they have better resolution or?
Yeah, they actually released a new one last week that can take 8K or
Wow.
like 7K,
Nice.
I guess. Yeah, and then I use like some third-party apps to take like the bracketing and then do the HDR like fold down in Photoshop.
That was going to be my question. So, for the bracketing end of it, are you using third party? Isn't there a third party app that Nick Campbell had something to do with for that?
Yeah, but that one doesn't work on mine. I guess it works on yours, the Theta S.
I think it's the S. Yeah.
But on the 5, it wouldn't link up.
So you?
I'm not sure if there's been an update since,
but you're
there's
able
a
to do
bunch of other
live, like to see the video live and set it all up, right? Like on your phone, you can see where the camera is, and then you hit the button to take the picture. Does it stream it?
in the app I'm using, you can't. But like, I've just taken so many photos with this thing that I know exactly like what settings to like dial in. Which aren't very much. I mean, there's not a lot to dial in on this camera, but I just kind of set it to like a certain exposure, and then the bracketing software like just does the whole deal for you, really.
Wow.
So I'll just snap like 13 shots, and then move on.
And so it's doing those steps. Are you? I know it takes them all, but does it actually combine them all, or are you using Photoshop for that?
No, I'm using Photoshop for that.
So are you doing
like,
that automated thing?
Yeah, just the merge to HDR Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it just does that, and then you can set your gamma, and you're pretty much good.
Right. Yeah, I'll take it into After Effects afterwards and kind of fix things up. Especially like on the neon ones, I've added some artificial lights in some of them. Just to kind of make them a little bit more dynamic in areas. Because the Theta 5 isn't amazing. Like, even though you're taking these bracketed photos, like, I don't know, sometimes it needs like a little help getting that contrast in there.
And you're doing it in After Effects, though. You're actually like... So...
I can't use Photoshop.
Well, does Photoshop have a VR editor like that now? Like, I know you can do it.
I think it does, but that wouldn't really affect me. Like, because I don't know, I'm just so used to looking at the image flat. Like, when you merge it, it just gives you that, like, 2-to-1 image. And I've just always edited like that.
Okay, so you don't ever put it into like a spherical mode in After Effects. Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. I was curious if you hit VR mode, what would happen. I never play with that. I probably should just to see what it does, but
yeah. The only thing I do in Photoshop is the like I'll clone stamp out like weird like if something was moving in the photo, like I'll just try and clean that up. But I don't do too much to them.
What about that median thing? Does that ever help you? If you take like 10 of the same photo and you do median, it will like erase a person that was walking by or any of that.
I found it to be extremely artifacty.
Oh,
Really?
Like I'd rather have like all the control on my end to do that. Like I've used like every kind of like merging software out there. I've tried them all, and like I just haven't really found one that gets the ghosting perfectly out of there. And chromatic aberration is a big issue.
Is it really?
On cameras? Yeah.
and that's just because I guess maybe they don't have the best lens on them.
Yeah. The new one supposedly is a lot better, and like someone who
I was
like,
just looking at it. The Theta Z1,
Yeah.
like $1,000.
Oh god.
Yeah, but it takes raw photos now. Whereas
yeah,
the other
shoots 6720 by 3360.
Oh, okay.
So 23 megapixel.
RAW is going to be a lot better for combining those bracketed images too. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the lens,
Yeah,
I guess the lens is bigger,
right.
but oh wow, yeah, that's not bad. Here, I'll bring it up here, people can see. It does have a lot bigger lens than like the Theta S back in the day or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty
I'm
big.
probably gonna try to get one of those.
Yeah,
I think it's like the lowest price point you can get, like a 360 raw photo. But I've looked into getting, an 8mm lens for my A7 III to like take a DSLR bracketed photo, and then a tripod head to like swivel around. But like,
what about doing
what
the mirror ball, the garden ball way of doing it? I know that's a huge pain to set up, but
yeah, see, I'm just like run and gun style,
right.
getting in like these areas that like I can't clear out, so I gotta be quick.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
So like, setting up like I'm basically running around with a selfie stick with this camera on it.
Yeah.
With the Theta 5, and just like plopping it down, like getting as far as I can before I lose signal to the camera.
Right.
And, just going, trying to get as many places as possible without like, with as little people or movement going on.
Before someone either steals your camera or somebody reports
Oh yeah,
you.
it gets really sketchy.
Yeah.
But
Does anybody ever come up and like start asking you what you're doing?
yeah, a couple times, but
Yeah.
like it's whatever. I'm just like, look, I'm just taking a picture. Like it's fine.
Yeah, like a law enforcement or just like a random person.
Just random people.
Yeah. Just
I mean, they see me
overly
like plop a
interested.
device down and run away.
Oh.
And,
Yeah.
what's
What's
going
that?
on?
I'm just taking a photo, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get people come up to me like if I'm flying a drone or something and they just want to like talk to me all about it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's really great, but my drone is in the air and I'm like losing battery right now. I've had people come just talk my ear off for like 45 minutes about droning when I'm trying to drone.
Sure.
Just,
Well, I
Just
don't know how to.
droning on.
yes. Oh, dad jokes. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain like a 360 photo, and then what I'm doing with it.
You just be like, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, like I'll try, and it just leads to more questions, and
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You just say, someone online got really mad at me because I used someone else's HDRI.
Yeah, so I have to do
go
this
create my own
in order to impress him.
HDRIs. In order to impress the random stranger on the internet.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, got to make those people happy. All right, so let's talk about kind of your changing career because you're freelance now, and how long have you been doing that?
The freelance?
Mm-hmm.
Coming up on a year.
On a year, and
Like
So-
this month.
And before that, what were you doing?
I was a full-time audio mix assistant in New York.
Okay.
Like we did a lot of commercials, a lot of like the HBO like promo stuff.
But what were you? So you
Yeah.
were doing mixing.
I was an assistant mixer there.
Okay, doing
At
audio.
this place called Herd City. Yeah, it was awesome.
So what got you into cinema?
Well, I wanted to do like more interesting sound projects.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, like I don't want to just like grab stuff online and like re-sound design it because I don't know, that just is weird. It's like, all right, well, let me just make my own stuff. because I was following people in Ashthorpe pretty heavily, and I knew they were using Cinema, so I was like, all right, like I guess like this is the most like approachable software. And then I looked at the price and I was like, I don't know.
Right.
So I actually started with Houdini.
Oh,
because
really?
I saw that the price point was just right. And I was like, all right. And I quit that so
and then
fast.
you open it up and you're like, all right, I think I'm going to just stick with audio.
Right. Well, I was like, all right, this is just way over my head. So then I went back and I had After Effects, so I was using Cinema Light a little bit. Got into like some Grayscale Gorilla tutorials. Y'all's stuff was definitely helpful.
Cool.
And then, I was like, all right, like this is approachable. Like I can probably make some cool stuff in here. And then it ended up just like completely taking over my life.
Cool.
And
yeah.
So how long were you doing that stuff before you decided, hey, I want to do freelance? Did you do any work for like any companies before you went freelance in the 3D realm, or just went for it?
I had done like a couple smaller projects for like friends of friends, like some stuff for like some startups, but like nothing major. Yeah, but I was ready to leave New York, and I had some friends out here, and so I just kind of left and put myself out there as like a freelancer. And some of my old like contacts in New York hit me up to do some work for them, which was awesome, and just kind of snowballed after that.
Because that was going to be my question, is about getting clients at that point. When we went out on our own, we had old bosses and people we had done work for on the side, and we just kind of did that. But if I were to like right now say, oh, well, I made Monkey Legs, so now I want to get into audio. And I just kind of went out and I'm like, okay, like I wouldn't know where to start getting clients.
Yeah. How do you, what do you recommend to a person who, at least kind of knows this stuff well enough, but
talk to as many people as you can.
Okay.
Like in the scene here in LA is awesome, and like everyone here is so nice. Like it's insane. Like I've never seen an industry like this. Like you go to any of the events here and you meet so many cool people, and then if like you can do the work, like the amount of recommendations people give out around here is insane. And like
recommendations are number one.
There's not enough motion designers in LA, ironically. And so like the scene is really I think it's relatively small, because word gets around like crazy. But if you know how to like handle yourself and not be a jerk like this guy on Facebook, basically,
right.
like you'll definitely find work. LA's not lacking in studios,
right?
For sure.
That's for sure.
And just like messaging people, like different studio owners or like producers, saying, hey, like I'm available if you guys want to meet, like I can come by and just hang out, we can just talk. And
how are you dealing...
have some like FaceTime?
Yeah. How are you dealing with like the... Well, I guess here's the question: between New York and California, what is the cost of living difference? Is it that much different? Because like if I were to move to LA, the cost of living would just suck for me. Yeah. But if you're coming from New York, maybe that's not so much of a change.
It's not that much of a change, but I'm definitely more comfortable in LA. I think like the price of entry is the same, but the value is better here.
Interesting.
Like you're still gonna pay a crazy amount for like anything, but like the level between something good and bad, like it is really thin. So like you're gonna be paying a lot no matter what.
Right.
But I think like anything for the like equivalent price is better in LA. Depends on how you feel about driving and traffic.
I don't like driving or traffic.
That's
why I love
subway
that's
more.
why I think that's why I love New York.
I hate the subway, man. I could not stand the subway.
Really?
Oh, dude, like I got like so bad. I got such bad claustrophobia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was not about it like being all huddled up.
Yeah, and I
But,
can imagine that just gets like anything. Like if you go on vacation in New York, it's like, oh, the subway, and then like if you live there, it's just got to be like, God, the subway.
I mean, it goes down like all the time, but I mean, New York definitely has some like perks to it. I mean, it's a really cool city, obviously. And I still work with people out there.
Yeah.
A lot of friends out there.
Yeah.
But I just prefer the LA lifestyle.
Now,
did you have to buy a car?
What's up?
Did you have to buy a car?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got a Ford EcoSport. I love that thing. But yeah, I love driving, so that was fine by me. I'd much rather sit in my car, like with the sun coming in, than like, being in a cold, dark subway.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what is this project that you're working on? It doesn't say what it is. It just says personal project. Do you have something you want to tease, a new thing coming out?
Yeah, I had a little bit of time off in between jobs here, so I was seeing what I could do within like a week, like 10 days. And so I love title sequences along with pretty much everybody. So I was making a title sequence, like an alternate title sequence for Hackers, which is one of my favorite movies. I'm basically done.
Are you timing it? Like, are you timing it out with the music and everything from the actual movie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I grabbed like one of the main tracks from the movie because the soundtrack's basically all I listen to anyways. And then I worked to that, and then I made my own track in the same tempo.
I gotcha.
Nice.
So, okay. Yeah, we haven't talked about your music background much. Audio, yes, but music, like as far as music and instruments are concerned, like what is your background in that?
Well, I've been doing music since high school, but it's always been more of a hobby. Yeah, I use Ableton. Love it. I've been using it forever.
See, now I know who to call when I have questions because.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to learn some things, but some stuff just still doesn't make sense to me. So,
Yeah. Well, actually, I thought like the transition from Ableton to Cinema was really smooth.
Oh, really?
Really, like, it operates in a really similar way. It looks kind of similar, to be honest.
The hardest thing I had to get through was like flipping between the different modes. I forget what the modes are called, but
session and arrangement.
Yeah.
I only stay in arrangement. I don't have any like mixers or like beat pads or none of that.
Oh, okay.
I just stick to mouse and keyboard. I mean, a lot of people use Ableton in the other way, like in the session view. But I just prefer the workflow in the arrangement view.
See, I like being able to like kind of play with maybe a couple loops.
Sure.
And then save them over here and then see what I like better. That seems helpful. But when you build this stuff though in Ableton, so you're just piling the tracks on top of the original to create your own, right?
Well, I mean, I just basically laid down the original track like on the grid.
For timing.
You know what and I'm just following all the same beats basically. I mean, figuring out the tempo's easy, and then from there on, like it's relatively straightforward. Like I'm just making my own thing in a similar style. So you took
that, you put the track on there, you made your own version. When can we see it though? That's the question. People are asking in the chat room now.
Either tomorrow or the next day.
See, they're keeping you accountable now. See, now you gotta. Everybody's gonna be waiting for it.
I would have released it today, but this render screwed up. I was using the OSL nodes. I really like the OSL nodes in Octane, but like sometimes they do like really unexpected things when like you're hitting render. Like I was using the flakes,
Mm-hmm.
because in one of my scenes there's a subway, and like the flakes is the perfect texture
Right.
for the floor. I mean, it looks identical.
Right.
But when I was rendering it, like I couldn't see it when I was, just working in the viewport because it was just too small.
Mm-hmm.
But the dots are animating, like the flakes are moving, like they're like popping in and out. And I was like,
yeah,
what?
you don't want that.
So I did this whole render thinking I was like fine, and then I noticed it right at the end. I'm like, no way.
Does that affect your calculation per frame with those movements, or does that not matter because it's OSL?
I was able to scrub in the timeline like
with
basically in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I thought like, yeah, there's no issue because I couldn't see like that fine of a detail, but yeah. So I'm re-rendering that right now and then.
So as far as paid work you're doing right now, though, you just want a bid or something as well?
Well, I just finished up doing the new, I guess, like the title and show package for season 3 of Legion.
Oh, you finished it already?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm done with the project. Like it's all delivered. I can't show it yet. I mean, it's on. Part of it's on effects like right now, like running, but the whole thing is being shelled out like over the course of the season. So I can't show any of it yet.
Well, that's a pretty big get right there, man. Like, how did you end up getting that?
Well, I was at State Design, which is a studio here. They're awesome, super, super nice people. And I was working on another project over there, which I can't say anything about yet. And, they had this pitch coming in, and they just wanted to help, like they had someone else do the concept design. I actually don't know who did it, but I took that scene. They needed like a motion test to get the bid or win the bid, right? So I took this guy's scene and transferred everything to like Octane. It was all done in standard before. Transferred it to Octane, like redid this rig that was going on there to make it like production ready, and we won the bid after like a week of kind of messing around with that. And then we had some other guys come in to do all the style frames. So I built like a couple X particles rigs. Basically, this whole thing was it's kind of centered around this like lava that's like a lava lamp, rather, like the goo inside.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's all just like
metaballs,
wax
undulating, and well, the metaball was taking forever.
Really?
And it just wasn't. There wasn't enough detail going on to what we wanted. So
what can you use metaballs for at this point? I guess
nothing. But yeah, we were combining like different X particle simulations or like fluid sims that were skinned in the OpenVDB mesher, and then taking those and like putting a bunch of different sims together into the cinema volume builder. So then they were all just being like, you just get this like really nice detail of like tearing, and there's other objects in the scene, and then those were like subtracting from the volume, and it was really cool, but it took forever to calculate.
Yeah, I bet it's super high poly, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean it was insane.
Yeah.
Like we spent like a week troubleshooting this thing to try and like figure out the best way to do it. Yeah.
It sounds a lot like what Stylo was doing on the stuff that he showed off at MDC.
Yeah. I guess, but he was using real assets or like actual footage to do that.
Well, they were doing some stuff with volumes and fields.
Really?
And
I thought it was like paint.
It was, but there was a mixture of stuff that they did with the final output of that paint. And yeah, I showed it. I don't know if they're going to release any video from MDC or not.
I heard a lot about it. I wanted to watch it because I really liked what they put out in the end.
Yeah, hopefully they post all. I mean, they had cameras all over the place. I'm assuming they are, and and people would
Yeah,
probably
it's
love
been a
to see
while.
that. Yeah, but you know how that goes. I got old talks and stuff we recorded sitting on drives,
Right.
ready to go to, you know.
Yeah.
No, that's
But anyways,
awesome.
it was
man.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a really great team. Me and Liam Ward kind of started the whole thing out with like the design phase after we got the job, and then Blake Fowley and Alex Leamington came in and just killed it on the production. Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Well, I can't wait to see some of it at least.
I know.
That's a
Yeah,
long time
I
to
mean,
wait.
It's yeah, for real. Like I can't wait to show it, but it's gonna be a little while, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, Pedro
Yeah, it was
posted
a great
the
experience. It was a lot of fun.
there's a Pedro posted 23rd C, which is that's the company
Yeah.
that Stylo started.
Mm-hmm.
There's a behind the scenes, so I'll put that in the show notes as well. Hopefully, where did that link come from? I don't see it in our dingus.
I don't know. I think it's interesting that people are actually able to post links now. You know?
Well, a lot of times I actually approve the links before they show up in the chat. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm watching on the dingus for that too. There's so many dinguses. Dingai? Dingai?
Ding guy.
Dingai. We'll call it
That's
that.
funny.
Yeah. So I also wanted to talk about finding extra time in your day, because if you're someone as Matt yawns, see, and this is kind of to my point. No, but this is to my point. What most people start doing is they start sleeping less.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
I am a lucky person in the fact that I have very much trained myself to be able to live off of as little as 4 to 6 hours a night.
Yeah, but that
of
can't
sleep.
be good for you, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now.
Here's the problem though. Like if I was to try and lay down and take a nap, like I would
Right.
not be able to get to sleep. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, and I'm kind of trying to think of it in this way, like let's say it's early in the morning, right? Like what time do you get up in the morning?
6:40.
6:40. All right. Nick, what time do you get up in the morning?
When I need to, basically. Like I'm like a all night person. Like I
Right.
do all my best work like in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
So
Same here.
I don't know, but like I'll still like go to bed at 3 and then wake up at like 8 or 9.
And that's
like
my
I just
problem
want to
too.
stay up like as much as possible. I hate
Yeah, see,
sleeping.
6 hours. That's not bad. You know?
Yeah.
I would always like when I was younger, I'd go out and party, and 10 o'clock was the perfect time for me to wake up. You know, 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd stay out till I'd finally get to sleep around 4 a.m.
Ugh.
That's still 6 hours. You know.
I actually find that I have more energy if I force myself to wake up
Uh-huh.
than like letting myself
Absolutely.
sleep in. You know.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
No, I get that. The thing about the time saving stuff though is I'm trying to approach it. I'm trying to do these little micro things that add a little more time.
Micro naps.
Yeah.
You take 10,000 micro
I
naps a
take
day.
10,000 micro naps a day. Now, that sounds like a unit of measurement.
Micro naps.
naps.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do little micro things, like first of all, the iPhone of course has screen time and one of the newest updates, and so you can look at that. And have you ever sat and
That's
looked at
been
that?
there for a while, Dave. Just one of your your newest updates.
Right. One of my newest updates. You know, mine didn't get the audio hack and all that because I waited. So if you've looked at that before, have you ever taken a look at that to see?
I don't want
Screen
to.
time.
Well, yeah, but that's the
I-
thing, you don't want to know, right? But then it's kind of important. You look at it and you're like, I picked up my phone 237 times today.
Yeah, but I feel like
Does
half
it
of that.
actually tell you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it keeps
let's
track
go
of
ahead
everything.
and turn it on. Okay.
Oh, you don't have it
Well,
on.
like,
Now,
Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
half
My
that
eyes.
time, it's like if I'm waiting for like Octane to spin up, like, and it takes like 2 minutes to load the scene, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna look on my phone. Like
Right.
I don't know what else to do really.
Well,
So like that's half of my phone time right there. Really.
I look at it and I see that there is some time that's like productivity and emails, and I'm not so much concerned about that, but I start looking at things about like how many times do I pick up my phone, but then I ask myself why did I pick up my phone at that point, and how much time is that wasting in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, and so on, right? And then I start looking at things like notifications. I don't need to know that @ something something wrote this render is fire under an advertisement on Instagram. But I get that notification and I pick up my phone anyway. That wasted my time.
Yeah, I don't get notifications on Instagram.
I've taken a lot of them off, but lately, like with Camp Mograph and all this stuff, I had certain ones on, and I'm thinking, well, can I get rid of that? And then I look and see how much time I spend on Facebook every day, or Reddit, or whatever. A lot less on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't want to see my Reddit usage per day.
But that's the thing. You're going to see it, and then maybe you need to see that.
Yeah.
That's how I start looking at. Maybe I need to look at these numbers. Maybe I need to know exactly how much. Like today, I've spent an hour and 23 minutes on my phone today already, and it's 1:30.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you can set app limits and all that if you really want to, but I'm looking at this from more of like an average perspective. So like weeks, like if I go to the last 7 days, right, I can look at this and see how much time I spent in Chrome, Reddit pics, that's what I looked at is Reddit pics, messages, there you get stuff in there like GPS. You're going to use all of that stuff, right? But when you start like really drilling down and looking at like how many notifications you get a day, I get 138 notifications a day. And if I pick up my phone for every single one of those, I'm going to end up on my phone for probably 30 seconds to a minute. So all of a sudden I'm wasting 140 minutes a day just picking up my phone. And so there are these micro things that I'm looking at, but then also taking stuff that I do within the day and trying to figure out, here's what I don't want to imply is that like having fun or playing video games or whatever is completely unnecessary, because video games are fun. It's fun to play video games, but think about it this way. I want you to, both of you, like get in this mindset real quick, okay?
I'm in the mindset.
You're in the mindset. Right? It's early in the morning, right? Super early in the morning.
How early?
How early? It's 30 minutes before you're supposed to wake up.
Okay.
Okay. And all of a sudden, here's your phone. Get up, get off. And in your head, if you had just a little bit more time to sleep, that'd be so great. What if you had an extra 10 minutes? You could hit that one more time. And you know what? You had that extra 10 minutes last night, but you know what? You played Mario Kart 3 more times because you almost got through that level on 200cc, but you didn't quite make it. So you tried again, but you didn't make it. You turned it off, and you wasted that 10 minutes. And so the next morning, you would really love that 10 minutes. So I'm thinking about these little micro-y things, like maybe don't have that last drink. Maybe don't have that last game. I don't know.
Well, I look at that time as like clearing the slate.
Yeah.
Like if I'm all day trying to figure out some design problem, like I need to do something to like get my head
totally
right,
with you.
And like I actually don't play very many video games at all anymore, because like I get sucked into it so hard and like so obsessive with it. So I just deleted everything. But like I'll like make music or something for fun, like to get out of cinema for a while. Or I'd go skate like all the time just to get outside a little bit too.
We got another skateboarder.
Yeah.
There's a skate park at Camp Mograph.
Oh,
very tiny.
Really?
Very tiny.
All right. But yeah, the other thing about like the social media stuff too is that like I feel like there's almost like a really important update or like a new piece of software or something almost every day, or at least weekly, and like I'm worried about missing out.
Yeah.
I'm getting like major FOMO about that. Like, so I'm always like, going through Twitter until I hit the end of like the new tweets to see like if I never post really on Twitter, but
You
There's
lurk.
so much good information.
Yeah.
I lurk everywhere.
I hate Twitter.
Like,
I hate it so much, and I go there all the time. It's
There's
like,
Why do you hate-
really
my
cool
entire
discussions on there.
feed is almost always filled with so and so liked this. You know,
That is
It's-
just so
it's-
annoying.
yeah,
Yeah.
that gets pretty dumb.
You want to
It's
go to
like,
your
it's
notifications
a whole bunch of people
and see what's
that
relevant.
I don't know. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like so and so liked this, so and so liked this.
It's because like someone else
great.
liked someone else's post, and you're like, what does that have to do with me? Like, if Facebook ran that way, holy
Well,
crap!
Facebook, it does run that way.
No, it doesn't say
Yes.
Matt liked someone else's post. I don't get
No,
anything
it
like
says so and so uploaded a picture. Okay, why do I need to
that. What
get a
kind of
notification?
weird notifications
that's-
do you have turned on?
You know,
Dude.
Facebook definitely sends out weird notifications.
Yeah, here, I'll
Yeah,
go
I
to my
get that.
Facebook. My notification today. Let's see.
I've never even.
Chris Pretty
Like-
added a new video.
Yeah, a lot of them are like so and so upload. or
Jake
updated-
commented on a post in Octane Render.
Well, that I
Baron
understand.
commented on a post
I
in
get
Cinema
those,
4D.
but you can control that. I think the problem with Twitter is you can't control that at all. It just shows you that,
Well,
and
that's just on your feed.
yeah. That's
Wonder if-
why
Yeah.
Ryan Summers has that little hack where you do your own like favorites thing, and then you just look at that or whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
and those are the kind of
That's a good
things
idea.
that save time as well, because I do a lot less Facebook now, right? And so I used to go through and read every notification and click on every notification, to clear it out.
Dude.
I
Oh.
wanted to clear it, and look at this and look at that. And then I realized, like, what does it really matter? So and so liked this thing. I'm not going to click on that and clear it. I don't know. Like, there's these little micro-y things that I'm trying to stop doing, because I'm realizing when looking at my iPhone how much that stuff adds up, and you don't think about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe you can't get that extra Mario Kart in because you didn't go on Facebook today. So
Maybe.
So, all right. Let's talk about some links, because we got some great links, and we got quite a bit of other things to cover here in the next 40 minutes or so. So,
Dave's links.
number one, Sonic movie has been delayed.
I
Yeah.
thought that was funny. Yeah.
And you know
That's
what?
good,
I'm
though.
glad.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people in our industry are glad that happened. I
Mhm.
think if you're gonna do a movie, you need to do it right. And if you're gonna change things around, you shouldn't just try and push it for a deadline. Plus, it gives people a lot more. It gives them a lot more. What's the word?
Well, this is just about the animators right now, don't you think? Like, this
Yeah.
is
yeah.
one of those things where, like, they're probably talking to their crew about, we've got to redo all of these animations now, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, we don't have enough time and budget, and this is what it's going to take. And
I don't know. This whole Sonic thing never really bothered me. I think he looked stupid in comparison to like actual Sonic, but who cares? It's
but who was
up to
getting the-
Well, who's the target audience
right.
Yeah.
for that movie?
Dude, my
and, like,
kid
how
has
many
watched
people...
that trailer at least a dozen or 24 times
Really?
after it came out. Yeah.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter whether or not I like Sonic, or even whether I want to see the dang movie,
Well,
because I
that's the-
really don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Well, I was asking myself, like, how many of these people who are complaining actually were planning on seeing the movie?
Right.
Right.
Like I probably
Nobody.
wouldn't if I didn't have a kid, I probably wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I was never really that invested. In
But
Sonic
the,
to begin with.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing I think that bothers me about his body like shape were how long his legs were.
I mean,
and
it's
that was
off-putting
really
for sure,
his
but-
his head looked fine. I
It
thought
is-
he looked
I don't know.
teeth.
yeah, the
nose,
teeth are weird,
I
but
don't know.
who cares?
But the
Like,
delay,
hedgehogs have teeth, don't they?
I think the
Yeah.
delay, though, is more of a good thing as far as our industry, because trying to cram all those changes through by the original deadline, that only affects who? That affects our people, right? Our industry, and probably all these people just under a terrible deadline and a bunch of stress. Like, I think it's a good move.
I think that they were that way even before. Like, I feel like almost on every show, there's always crunch time and cramming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really know of any show or job that like doesn't have that to at least some degree.
It seems like, like motion graphics are an afterthought. Like,
Well, I mean, no one ever like puts in like the right amount of time in a schedule to do like any of this kind of stuff, right? Like if you leave it up to a producer who isn't an artist,
but they don't even inquire. Like they're like, oh, like they'll come. We get people like that.
It's a numbers,
and
like you're gonna get it done somehow.
Like, kind of the might not look good.
Sure, I mean, as long as it gets the okay, like at some point you just have to call it, right?
Those people who come to us, though, it's like we
do what they can.
We spend 8 months on production and video and voiceover for this. Oh, and we need the graphics for it in 3 days. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Like, why is so much little thought given?
I think
people really don't know.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
It's not in every case, but
we should get like. I would love to get like John Lepore on here to talk about like the process behind doing a Marvel movie for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder how much of that they can actually even talk about, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Ooh, man, I'm peeling good. I got it bad. I was in the sun all weekend. Yeah.
Not me.
You and I both had kids in field day, so we did field day on Friday, and then
dude,
took a long
passed
weekend.
out hard after being in the sun for like
Me
20
too.
minutes.
and then I went mountain biking, and I crashed really pretty bad. I was showing off.
I took the top down on the Jeep and the doors off. So, and my kid gets out of school on Friday, and as long as it doesn't rain over the next like 2 days, it's going to stay down for the rest of the summer, which I'm very excited about.
Well, here's what I did this weekend. This is really stupid. I decided to show off in front of my daughter. Not show off, but it was one of those things where she's like, "You can do that, Daddy." I'm like, "Sure I can." And I completely screwed it up. So I got her a new mountain bike, like a real good mountain bike. And she's only 9, so this is like a kid's mountain bike, but it's a good mountain bike. And she's been showing that she's really into biking, and so I was making sure that it was something that she was really going to do before I bought it. So I buy it and I take it to an actual mountain bike trail with her. She's done some off-roading stuff. We've done a couple hills and things like that, but this was more of a like rocky, like actual mountain bike trail. So she was doing great on it, but we were going down the trail and we saw this little ramp that was like made out of wooden slats. It's about 4 feet high, and it just goes up and back down, like part of a sine wave, right? Easy enough, right? I've done hills before, not a big deal. The only thing is it's pretty tall, and I haven't been mountain biking a lot lately. Like I used to really do it back in the day.
Man, I wish I could have seen that.
And so it was so crazy. Like I still don't know exactly what happened, because my biggest thing when hitting something like that, and I've done it many times before, is that like I'm just worried about getting up on the thing. But I got up on the thing, and then like I didn't really think about finishing the ramp. And so when I get up to the top, I do not know what happened. I don't know if I just lost momentum or if my pedal kind of got caught in a slat or what it was, but I was not moving forward to go downhill. I'm like, why isn't my bike moving? And however it got stuck, I just remember in slow motion, like feeling myself thinking like, this is gonna suck. And I just completely stopped motion and went over the handlebars, and at the same time, like over the side, like kind of sideways. And dude, I fell like 4 feet down, my whole giant body, and I was bleeding, and I was like, I'm bruised up, and I am on blood thinners, so like I have this awful freaking, oh my gosh, it looks so bad right now. I have this awful bruise on my leg, and I like have to play it off, right? Because
you need to have Emily have a GoPro on her helmet.
Yeah.
So if any of this happens again,
yeah,
because we really want.
No, she has a GoPro. We were talking about we're gonna put those on next time, but oh my gosh, like the whole thing is like she's been complaining about like minor scrapes and cuts and stuff on the trail, and I'm like, you just gotta keep going, and she just keeps stopping, and I think she stopped kind of complaining about that after she saw me like bleeding and like continuing to move on. But it was a Family Guy Peter moment, like like, and I just get up and I'm like, I'm fine. It's just battle damage, and we keep going. I'm totally out of breath, totally playing it off like I'm completely winded. It's like someone punched me in the stomach. Daddy tried to show off a little too much. Whoops. Well. Anyway, let's go on to some other links. Merc, it continues to impress.
Yeah.
He's got 2 things that he
Guy's
showed
insane.
off. He's freaking
Guy or girl? I don't know what Merc is.
guy.
Whether he's a guy or girl.
Guy.
Do you know for sure?
Yeah, because back in the early days, I actually found him on Facebook, and he had a photo at that point.
Oh.
And so,
okay, gotcha.
So the first one that he posted was this sketch and tune real-time renderer, like little mini window thing where you're working in your browser. Oh my gosh, like I'll put a link in the show notes. You got to see this. And then the other one was, we touched on it last week, was the Greebles plugin as well. So we'll have Polygreebles. Yeah, we'll have a link to both of those in the show notes. And when Seagraph is coming around, which it is here at the end of July, they start putting out videos. The technical,
the white paper stuff.
Yeah, the technical papers and stuff.
Man,
oh man,
so cool. Did you see the bread thing?
The bread tearing was really good.
Oh my gosh, that was insane. Dave, can you bring that up? Is there any way you can bring that up?
So I can bring it up. So I love when they do these videos because it's stuff that like it's not necessarily.
It was on the front. It was on one like the front page of the R Simulated Reddit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you look at it and you're like, this stuff is really cool. I know it's not going to be in my apps right away, like Cinema 4D or Houdini, whatever, but it will be eventually. And that's why I like looking at this stuff. It's like, because I know I know it's coming through the pipeline here. Let me bring it up. I'll put it in theater mode so you can see it. And obviously the people listening aren't going to be able to see this, so we'll post this in the show notes. But what did they have in there? They had bread tearing. They had the chocolate bunnies melting. And what else?
The chocolate bunnies melting. I wasn't too sure about that.
Yeah, they had the so you know the magnetic liquids.
Yeah, the ferrofluids.
Yeah, they've got that in there. I don't know how they're doing that. It's almost like there's little balls inside, like little metal balls in a way.
Yeah.
What else? There's a lot having to do
that was cool
with forest and plant ecosystems like evolving over time, which is really cool.
Wait, what's going on here? Like, what is this?
These are some of the, I guess, the technical papers or whatever.
White papers. Yeah. They always do this kind of video.
Right. Yeah, kind of showing off like innovative new ways of doing things. You know, in 3D is cool. Right. I wasn't sure about this. The scalable muscle or actuated humans. I don't know. I wasn't sure about that. It didn't look very. Good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
they had all the human stuff. Is there anything else?
That was cool.
I may have not finished this. The like 3D WebGL stuff. There's a lot to do with
that's insane.
Shading.
Some of the stuff that they are doing with like pictures. Did you see the video the other day of the where they take a still picture like the Mona Lisa or a picture of Marilyn Monroe or Dolly or something like that, and like turn them into 3D faces?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's insane. That's totally insane.
I think I had that somewhere in my notes, to tell you the truth. It was like an actual painting though, which is crazy to think. It's like self-portrait of a painter, and then it's brought to life with that. I have it saved in my... the problem is these Facebook links are just nearly pointless. I hate posting Facebook links, for some of these. Right. But it was maybe... I don't know what this was. I don't know what... It's a famous painting, right? Monet, I don't know. There we go. So taking those paintings and doing like a deep fakes thing... or even old photographs, which is really cool to think about too. Taking an old black and white photograph and allowing it to come to life by using somebody else's face as kind of the source, you know.
It's insane.
Oh man, we got some cops playing now. Thanks, autoplay. All right, so
Great. Now we're gonna get flagged.
yeah, right. So there were a couple other things like that in the deepfakes realm. There's an article from the Washington Post about deepfakes, and it's called "Deepfakes Are Coming, We're Not Ready." And of course, it talks about things like fake news, because that's going to be, God, that's going to suck so bad when.
I really think, I think we should get on top of this firsthand.
I don't know how.
And like,
that's the problem.
Straight up say this is fake, but like have Trump saying really bad stuff,
Oh gosh.
or doing really bad stuff, so that we can at least say, this is fake, yes, but you know how news spreads and people don't go and do their research, so we're just hoping that some of the boomers out there like throw out a bunch of, oh, look what he said, blah blah blah.
Right.
Like, because that would happen. You don't even have to go that far to spread fake news, though. I mean, people just read like headlines alone.
Yeah, that's true.
That's enough. You don't need the crazy.
You don't even need deep fakes to make Trump say bad stuff. So whatever.
Because the Washington Post or the New York Times will put a crazy clickbait title, and then you go to click it to actually read what the thing is, and it's like, oh, do you want to read this? It'll cost you $10 a month.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't.
Do you think that there's here's the problem. It's going to get so bad. If fake news is bad enough in text, just imagine when audio and video are just, the example they gave in this piece is in the Washington Post is Obama. Like, Obama saying like really bad stuff. And how do you curb this? And how do you can't keep people from making this, right?
No.
I mean, it's a violation of freedom, right? At what point does it become
right?
God, it's such a terrible, awful like.
Well, there's a really good episode of Joe Rogan's podcast where they bring on some higher ups at Twitter to talk about if you ban someone from like Trump's on Twitter all the time, right? And like that's where the discussion is happening, right? So if you ban someone from Twitter, you're basically cutting them out of getting direct news from the president and like being cut out of like the political like conversation. Sure, well, I mean, it's enough to like form an opinion one way or the other. Well, like, how important is social media to where you can't be involved in the process without it anymore?
Yeah, and right? I think there's also some sort of laws about not letting people get information from the government or something. I don't know.
Well, like, at what point is like, it's going to come to a head somewhere where like there's going to have to be some like regulation on like who's culpable for putting out misinformation, and how do we go after those people?
Well, and using someone's likeness, there are laws as far as that too. Using somebody's likeness, if they're considered a public figure, like there's all of these weird loopholes and things as far as that's concerned. And so you use a loophole that says you're allowed to use a political figure because they are like a public figure, and it's fair game.
You could call
satire.
Satire.
You could say satire. I mean, that's what these sites are
satire.
doing.
Like fair use.
Yeah.
You can take that pretty far.
So what happens when you have the president of the United States saying something completely terrible, which is anyway, right?
It's not out of the ordinary,
right? But it is fabricated, and it gets around, and misinformation spreads. And what happens when something really terrible happens because of it? What happens when some person shoots up a place because they saw a video that they thought was real and it wasn't, and they got angry, and who's responsible? And like it's
probably already happened. But like we don't have I don't know if we have like the capability to even have that conversation with like America or the world rather, like as a whole, really.
The problem is, I think
like, how do you explain to everybody that like what you see like actually might not be like what it is at the first take, but like I rarely investigate articles. Well, first of all, I don't follow much news to begin with. I'm trying to learn Houdini, and I don't have time to do anything else.
It takes all my time.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody who would follow up on an article. I wouldn't.
If there's something that I'm not sure about, I will definitely when I see those. Here's another example. You see those tweets from the president like posted on Reddit or something, right? And you look at something and you're like, this is so awful. This can't be real. And then part of me is like, well, you never know these days. It probably is real, but I don't know. And I do look those up because if I'm going to share or post something, I'm not going to post a tweet from Trump if I don't know it's real, right?
Yeah.
And so,
no, fair enough.
I do investigate that because they have those tweet generators.
Sure.
But who's to say?
I mean, you can use like any software, like Photoshop to do anything, right?
Right. Yeah. And what makes it's the same thing there. Like what is?
It's the easiest image to fabricate. It's so simple to fabricate any like text-based, conversation.
So what happens when you post that and you post Trump now okay with gay marriage or something, right? And then a bunch of his followers get upset about that, and then they start, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, all it takes is one lone person to get a crazy idea in their head because of like a fake tweet they saw, and who's responsible for that? And where do we go with deep fakes when just literally everything on the internet is fake?
Mm-hmm.
And then
well, like, even, I mean, I don't know if you guys watched like the Senate hearing with the CEO of Google, I guess, or not the CEO, but one of the like heads of technology.
Yes.
And they were like, he's like, how can you track me on this iPhone? He's like, I don't know. Like, do you have these apps enabled? And second of all, we don't even make the iPhone.
Right.
So,
yeah. And he's like, yeah, but like can you track me?
Don't even understand.
Yeah.
Like what they're using.
Yeah, he's like, you're not answering my question, man. Can you track me on this? He's like, that's an Apple product, dude. Like,
I mean, first of all, it's an Apple product, and like, you didn't come to this meeting prepared. Like, you didn't know that. Like,
no.
I mean, you can search. Like, the first link is going to be like, how to turn off location sharing.
But what happens when that person who doesn't understand all of that sees a deep fake and thinks it's real and has no idea?
Yeah, I mean, those are the guys who can make the laws.
But then they hear that.
They don't understand.
They hear it though. They read this article and then they get freaked out, right? And then they're like, "Oh, we're all going to die." And then,
Well, that's the danger of like using fake news and fake deep fakes to like, I almost feel like these guys aren't going to fight it because they want that tool to use to their own. Right now, I'm sounding
to
like
wag the dog. yeah.
Some serious like conspiracy shit. But
no,
like,
but imagine it on a bigger scale.
No matter how you look at it.
Imagine a bigger scale. So, like 20 years from now, AR is big. Everybody has the crazy glasses, and and now all of a sudden people are like inserting fake stuff into our vision. Super dystopian and Beeple-ish, but it's a possibility too. Your eyes are deceiving you. We'll have real time deep fakes by then. You could just drag anybody's picture from the street and put them on another body.
Like, that kind of stuff is a long way off.
Probably not.
I don't know
not as much as you think, though. That's the thing. I mean, according to Beeple's timeline.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
That's like our measurement or scale right there. But yeah, it's a weird time for sure.
True. All right, let's switch gears.
I was trying to create a fake tweet
of
you really quick, but I couldn't do it.
Too late.
No, just tweet generator.
Yeah, basically.
So, how about this video that Chris Schmidt released on Rocket Lasso with Aaron Coverett the other day? So it's called How to Bring Real Life Objects into Cinema 4D. It's photogrammetry start to finish. I have not had a chance to sit and watch the whole thing because it's long, but I'm going to play it this afternoon while I'm doing other stuff because I have to see this. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh, this is going to be epic. And then immediately Ariev was like texting, like, dude, have you seen this yet? So I'm super excited to check this out. But like the workflow talks about like UV and everything, like retopologizing and all of that. So definitely check that out. But you've got some links. You got a bunch of links for us too, and I think one of them had to do with meshes, instant meshes. Yeah. I can't speak.
Well, yeah. So,
good, Dave.
I mean, I watched Aaron's talk. I look at the image, but
that's all right.
Yeah, I watched Aaron's talk at NAB. You know, and I think it's like along the similar lines as the Rocket Lasso video, but yeah, after that, I was instantly inspired to try and do some photogrammetry. And that led me to Instant Meshes, which will, it does a pretty good job of turning those like crazy triangulated messes into all quads. And it does it super fast. Like, I've used the ZBrush decimator before, and I never really got around to like mastering that or like figuring out how to get the best results, but this thing gave me like really good results, like super fast, and it's free.
Yeah, the retopo is stuff that I really want to get into because I've done photogrammetry, Phil, Raid Zero, and we did some easy photogrammetry, I guess, pretty simple photogrammetry up in London when I was there for MDC, and it worked really well, but I didn't get to the point where I needed to retopologize, but I was thinking about it, like how could I kind of like simplify this, and I'm hoping that this video goes a lot more into this process as well. Matt sent me a fake tweet of mine.
I don't know what you're talking about. You actually wrote that.
No, I'm gonna sue. See, I'm not a public figure, so you know, I'm gonna sue you. Yeah. I'm gonna sue you for everything, Matt. I'm going to take your company.
You want to get sued?
Want to get sued? Matt Milstead is way cooler than me. I suck in comparison to him.
I mean, it's nice that you finally actually admitted it.
Yeah, now you're gonna clip that soundbite and make a remix. Other links. So you have this Python effector.
Oh yeah.
What is this here?
This guy, I guess it's kind of similar to what Merc does, but I guess it's just different kinds of tools. He has this really cool quantize effector. I posted a link with like a Twitter that has a Twitter post that has like a GIF of it.
What is it quantizing exactly, though?
The movement of, whatever you have like inside of a cloner. So like if you're like just randomizing like the noise, like if you're using a noise and like a random effector to just kind of push things around, it'll like block off the movement to like 90 degree or whatever increments that you set. So it'll only move if the transition has like surpassed whatever degree you have set.
Oh, weird.
So it's just a really interesting effect that like I've been using like the formula effector to get something fairly similar, but this is much more straightforward.
And where do you put this? So you use the Python effector and then you just paste the code, or no? Do I have that wrong?
He provided like a scene that has just like a Python effector object, and I think you can save that up. I have a couple other Python scripts saved. Yeah, he has a GitHub depository.
Repository.
Repository.
Yeah.
Suppository.
Suppository. Oh man, those Python suppositories. Woo! I tell you.
But yeah, this stuff's awesome.
Hello world,
like
you know what I'm
has a
saying?
script-
No?
there's a script that will like provide a Mograph selection tag for every clone, like just automatically, which is great. Like I use that one a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things in here that are super useful. Because I make my own scripts all the time. I just find these like super.
So you're
handy.
pretty big into Python then?
Not Python. I just use like the cinema console scripts, I guess.
I got you.
So I'm not like writing out
Right.
like,
Yeah.
a million things, but like everyday commands that I'll use like all the time. Like I made a script that will select connected polygons, split from the original, and then delete the faces from the original model or original mesh.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one that like connect all and delete, and then optimize that mesh. Like,
okay. Which you
just
don't
stuff
have
like
to
that.
optimize anymore to get rid of those
really?
extra points. Yeah, it's just an
just do it
option
on the
now.
connected-
Yeah, it gets rid of
Oh,
the
I didn't know.
points, which is sweet by
Oh,
default.
that's nice.
Yeah, that's a R21 thing, I think.
Like sometimes if you like collapse down something with caps, like they're not connected, and if you try
Yes.
and like bevel the whole thing, it'll like I don't know, do something weird. So I just use that on everything just to be safe. Like I'll just optimize everything.
Mhm. And then you got how to animate a cube in Houdini. Is this the one? Is this the one that's been around for a while with the?
Is this, yeah, with
The
the
train-
actual working engine and stuff
Yeah.
inside of it? That's hilarious.
Dude,
Love it.
this thing is just absolutely amazing because when you see the name of it, you're like, oh, make a cube in Houdini. That's got to be easy. But the dude actually makes like a combustion engine, working combustion engine. This is insane.
Mhm.
Absolutely
how long this took.
insane. I can't even imagine. Like it drives the whole entire thing, and then he just
I
puts
mean,
a cube
there's
over
like a
it.
transmission
Yeah.
in there, like a working transmission. That's insane.
Oh my gosh! So like, eventually I'll get into Houdini, and I'm gonna try this. It looks fun.
This last project, the Legion stuff that I did, like
Mhm.
that, it convinced me to get in, like take Houdini very seriously.
Yeah.
So I've been like in between renders this past couple weeks.
Well, why is that? Because other people on your team were using it, or
Even I was using it
Oh,
a
you
little
were.
bit. Like my super limited knowledge of Houdini, like actually came in handy. Especially for these volume things. Like it was just, there's no volume cache in Cinema, which blew my mind. And like in Houdini, I could watch what I'm doing. Like this like very complex volume. Like I could like cache it and play it back like really fast. But you have to bake to Alembic in Cinema in order to play back the volume, like
Yeah.
in any workable sense.
yeah?
And like our whole thing was relying on volumes, so like doing cameras or anything was a nightmare.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Because like okay, we can't look at this in like real time, like reliably, so
Mhm.
I don't know what to do. So we had like these 100 gig Alembics constantly
Oh my god.
that just took forever to like bake down.
That
And if
makes
it
my
didn't
head
work,
hurt.
then we had to do it again. Like,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, even rendering like a hardware render took like half an hour for like a 10-second scene.
Jeez.
Like, it was ridiculous. So like, at one point I was just like, all right, I give up. I'm going to Houdini. And then I actually delivered one shot where like all the assets were made in Houdini because, it was crazy.
Mhm.
But it's actually a lot more approachable than I remember from before. So
I think like
Yeah.
anything, like
I've liked it. From what I've used of it lately, I'm just going through doing some of the tutorials, like the simple smoke and the simple fracture stuff, and it's like I like it a lot.
yeah. At least like for me right now, I'm pretty much sticking to just making assets in there and then bringing them over back to Cinema.
Yeah.
But I want to slowly like work my way in because I watched Simon's latest talk about his project Tide.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys saw that. I should have posted it in the links. But,
I think I did actually.
It's this like mirrored like fluid simulation.
Yes.
Almost.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's all made from textures that are done in the compositing part of Houdini.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I was doing in cinema on Legion for like the texturing process. Like I just have this like crazy node tree, and it was just a nightmare to work with. But in Houdini, like you can take those assets and use them in so many more places, and like use that data in ways that you just couldn't in cinema.
Yeah.
But I like that there's it's almost like Substance Designer in Houdini.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like I wish that like either the Octane node editor or like something in cinema like allowed you to like create mirrored patterns and have more like control over image textures, rather than just you can change the gamma and the projection sometimes.
I'll be interested to see where they're going with some of this stuff though, because with things like fields, I feel like they're really starting to push some Houdini-like things.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there might be more coming our way,
Yeah.
But that's why
I would just like a stronger image editor in cinema.
Yeah.
Because the layer system, I really don't like using it.
I like it.
I mean,
I've always liked
it's
it.
nice. I just wish that there was like a little bit more feedback.
A little more Photoshop-y in a way.
Yeah. Like if you could, I don't know, if you could use like more tools in there. I don't know. I guess I'm not like the greatest at it to begin with.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though. I understand.
I want like a node editor in that layer system.
Right. Yeah.
To be able to like really, and then like take like one layer and reference that in like a bunch of different fields instead of like copying a noise shader from one to like a million other things and then using Espresso to like try to link everything and like have family. But
that makes sense.
It's that kind of thing. But you're not going to use that for every project,
Right.
So it's a really like. Actually, me and Chris were like arguing with someone on Twitter about this the other day, about like when to use Houdini, when not to, if you really need it or not.
Right.
An interesting argument.
And then you also have a link to this thing called Topaz Gigapixel AI.
Yeah, that's actually something Blender Guru was showing off. It's basically like a AI upscaler.
Wow, so you can actually enhance for real. Enhance.
Yeah. I mean,
hey Dave, is the chat not working?
I have no idea. So you
I haven't seen an update in forever.
Yeah.
So you can actually enhance these photos for real. Does this actually work?
To some degree.
Yeah.
It does have like a batch processing option, and like I've tested it like with renders, and like it's hit or miss. But what I've been doing with it, like I think like its real strength in our case is like, I bought like a bunch of models off TurboSquid, and like sometimes those come with like 1K textures.
Oh yeah.
Small, and so like I'll put those through the upscaler.
That's a good idea.
To try and get more out of them, or like I have like a lot of texture packs that are just like 2K, like dirt textures, grunge, whatever. And I'll run those through and upscale them, because I don't care. Like the detail is already random, so no matter what it spits out, it's gonna be fine.
Well, there's so many instances where I get a thing like that from TurboSquid, and I have to create an Octane texture for it. A lot of times, I find myself going into Substance to try and like really pull out some stuff that I just can't do any other way. This would be nice for at least the main textures.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you further than you would with a 1K texture,
right?
Or like saving time by going to Substance for sure. At least like having that to work with as an option is great. And it's only like $99 for like perpetual.
It is perpetual. Okay, good.
That's right.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm getting so tired of
different
paying monthly for 8,000 different things. that I use one time a year. You have another one called Post Haste. Now this looks like
Oh yeah, it's a lifesaver.
what
sure.
is this? This is more of a productivity tool.
Yeah, I've been using this for years. It's a you can create like a project hierarchy as a template, and then just have like a when you open the app, you just have a field for I just have it set up as a project name, and it automatically like puts in the date and everything. Or
I see.
however like you want to
cool.
set up your folder. But yeah, you can create your own template and like insert like whatever like preset files you want.
I do like that it says
have,
motion graphics template is actually their.
I know they have like an After Effects thing. But I remember Chad Ashley posted his project hierarchy once. I forgot what video it was for. But I took that and I modified it for my own needs. Like I have a production design folder, and then like assets, renders, exports, and then in like my assets folder I have like models, cache files, images, footage, vectors, the works really. But it like the hierarchy is just ready to go like immediately, and you don't you stay organized right from the beginning. Like everyone who's working from home or like in a studio really should use this. Or what I don't know of any other equivalents really, besides just like having a a file like a dummy folder like ready to go. This is just like a faster option.
It would be nice too,
cool.
even when you're working with those like different companies that kind of how they work. You could have that kind of setup to go.
Yeah, so you can have like a bunch of different templates. Like I have one for motion design, and then one for music. Like totally separate needs.
And then you've got getsoundly.com. This is Soundly. This looks familiar. I think I've seen Soundly before.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it's just like a free, mostly free anyways.
Ooh.
Like sound effects database.
Holy cow.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people.
And are they all copyright free?
Well, okay, so this thing will actually reach into Freesound and grab the ones that have the correct license.
Oh, nice.
So like a problem that I dealt with a lot in working in audio was like I would get AAFs or OMFs from editors from wherever, right? And I would look through like all the audio that they're using, and like I know what a Freesound file looks like, because in Pro Tools you can see the the whole extension in the file name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll go there and then I'll look, and of course like it's attribution license, or like this is not cleared for error,
right?
And like the projects are just riddled with those.
Oh man.
And so I'm messaging these editors like, hey, half your sounds here are not cleared for error.
Right.
Like you're doing a Tide commercial. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But it's for every level. It's like that. So I think, and then with this Soundly, like you can import your own libraries. And then I have it hooked up to my NAS, and I can just connect from anywhere on it. So like I've done like jobs like in studios where I'll do the motion design, and then I'll just do like a quick sound design pass on it, but I'll just grab stuff from my personal library and just connect to it, or just use like the free sound stuff, because a lot of it's okay. I mean, it's not horrible.
Yeah.
But there's an equivalent called SoundMiner that every real, I guess, sound designer uses, but it's super expensive. It's like thousands of dollars, and it's the same
yearly, probably, right?
Sound. I'm not sure actually. It's kind of an older software, but this basically does the same thing, but it's grabbing like additional free assets. So like, not every motion designer is gonna want to buy like sound effect libraries, but like, if someone's trying to just put like a little like sweetener on there, which I think goes a long way, this is a really handy tool to have. Instead of like searching each individual sound in Freesound and like trying to audition everything in the web browser. Like that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So like going to this kind of application is how like any sound person would operate. It's like the right way to do it.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So it's just a handy tool.
Also,
Cool.
I've got a link. I want to say,
You just gave me like 5 things to download.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about them all.
well, I think Casey Hupke posted this. Somebody posted this in our Slack.
No, I think we were talking about this.
somebody was-
I think we actually talked about this on the show. I think it
When?
maybe
This
I don't
new
know.
this is like a WebGL fluid sim
Yeah.
deal, and it
was
works
it
on
Houdini Mark. Was
May-
it Houdini Mark?
maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
remember.
remember, but the thing is that it's really good, and it works like on your iPhone too. It's like
Yeah.
it's like smooth like butter. So I'll post a link to this. You can. It's like a little particle playground type thing. You can change all these different options. You know, like
Those are so detailed and nice. Like why?
Right?
How do we not have those kind of tools and
I know,
any
I know. That's what I don't understand.
like that would get the job done.
Yeah, it would get the job done for
You
a
know-
lot of different projects.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be able to develop like so many cool looks out of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
And then the last link that I have here is NVIDIA. This is called Create a New World with RTX, but it features Sabor working at the
Sabor!
Pioneer DJ booth and creating his thing. He talked about some of this in his talk at, was it SIGGRAPH last year? SIGGRAPH or NAB? One of the two.
NAB.
And he's, NAB.
No.
Yeah, NAB.
Yeah, NAB.
And he's wearing
Yeah.
the Render Things shirt in the interview too, which is awesome. So I'll post a link to that. You can check that out. And I believe that's all the links. So we should
Oh, did you get the sub pack?
the subpack. Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that thing's rad.
Yeah, you sent me that too.
Subpack?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I'll
think
post
I
a
sent
link
you
to
that
that in there.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this seat back subwoofer. Like it just
Oh.
it like wraps like around whatever chair you're in. And
But it's not audible sound, right?
no.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you can hear like some rattling, but it's not like it is not disturbing at all.
But it's
really.
something cool, like if you're watching videos and stuff or working.
If you can hear the rattling, you're basically like at concert level bass.
So
Wow.
Like that's what you're feeling.
okay, so you don't have to turn it up that much.
No. But like I just have my computer audio like always passing through it. It just like adds a whole nother dimension.
Where
to
does
stuff.
it go though? Like, how do you mount it in your
I
chair?
literally have it like I don't know if you can
Oh,
see it.
geez.
But, like,
Oh,
it's
is
just
that it?
that's it. I just have it like strapped to my chair. I mean, it comes with the straps, but like that's all.
But how do you have a wire move going from your chair to the?
Yeah, there is a wire, but it also can connect over Bluetooth.
Oh, okay.
But I have like a mixer that I have like real speakers and
What's
a
the
little
battery
setup.
like?
it lasts a while. But it has a a DC plug,
Right.
so you can just you don't have to really worry about it.
Is
But like the negatives do not like come close to like how much of a positive it is. For anyone who's like sitting there all day, listening to music and doing anything really, or like
Mm-hmm.
watching a movie even, like it just really enhances the experience.
this could be great for VR.
Yeah.
They make a backpack version. I haven't tried that one out.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I mean, this thing's really, I think it was like marketed towards like dubstep producers.
Mhm.
But like for someone who just wants to listen to like, fairly heavy music, like in an apartment like this, like I can't have a 10-inch subwoofer here.
Right.
I used to have, but like,
Yeah.
I can't have that in this apartment, and especially in New York, like the walls are like super thin, right? So like,
Man, $300 though.
yeah, well, there's nothing else like it.
Man.
I mean, it's expensive, but I can't imagine not having it anymore.
All right, I'm going to have to check that out. Put more toys on my list of things to waste money on.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's just a fun one to have.
All right, well, let's do some Beeple's People.
Cool. I'm going to run to the restroom.
I wish you would. All right. Let's go get our Beeple viewer of choice out. I'm going to Twitter. And I'm going to go to May 20th, Year of our Lord 2019. And the title of this one is not pronounceable because it's emojis. So it is 3 eggplants, and that is the name of it. And so I'm going to bring it up here. So eggplant, eggplant, eggplant. And man, this is just great.
Those veins, though.
Those veins, though. Oh, gosh, I didn't even realize it. So, everybody knows that the eggplant emoji is supposed to be. He did do pretty well with the veins. Now, blowing this up, I'm really starting to notice how painted this looks. I guess I didn't notice that when it came across my feed the other day, but I really am wishing Matt would hurry up and pee so he could comment on the eggplant, because this is pretty ridiculous. It's an eggplant hanging from the ceiling and people working on it. And my problem is I have no idea how to incorporate this into the Beeple world and and say what it is.
This is the entertainment sector of like the future of
There
people.
you go. There you go. Yeah, so it's the red light district.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the red light district for the big Beeple's people, and these are the little Beeple's people making it.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good way to go.
I actually have these the wires that are connecting up top. I think that's like a.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, those models are on ArtStation somewhere, like some kit bash. I think I have.
Well, then
I
it's
know
worthless. He didn't. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he used the model. No, too bad.
So.
Yeah. I'll try and refresh the chat here, see what I can get going.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Yeah, like, come on. Refresh.
I'm just looking on YouTube.
Yeah, well, the YouTube stuff came back up. I don't know. Anyway, well, hopefully that'll come back up.
I don't know if I missed anything.
All right, so let me go to the next one. This is May 24th. This is called Moonbase 7. And here it is. I like this one because in the whole Beepleverse, there's this whole kind of narrative that we have going right now about, like, slightly being in the future, and you got moon bases, and, like, the portals are outside the moon and whatnot. And I think that this is honestly probably in the earlier days, like if you're going through the Beeple timeline. The pyramid, it reminds me of a cartoon that I saw the other day. There was just a picture of a large desert, and there's a picture of a pharaoh. And it says, you know what this needs? A bunch of triangles. Giant triangles. Yeah. You missed the eggplant, Matt.
I'm glad. I don't need that in my life.
You have no theories on that, huh?
It's part of the emoji warfare.
You think? Because we thought it was the red light district for the big Beeple's people.
No. Oh my gosh. Wow.
You know?
No.
You know?
I think it's a bomb. That's a truth bomb right there.
I see. It's a Trojan. Nah.
There it is.
Anyway. So this one is the moon base. So I like the color. It almost has this purplish feel. Is it purplish?
Yeah, it's purplish.
Yeah. Even with the Earth. Maybe it's not Earth. Never thought about that. Could be a different moon, right?
Well, there's another moon.
Yeah, there's another moon right there.
See,
I can't tell if it's like the dust specks or if there's lights, like city lights on that moon.
You know what's weird is I almost took that as a reflection in my head for some reason. Like,
no way. That's another moon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's no moon.
It's no moon. All right, and the last one is going to be May 25th. It's called Going Home. And I feel like he's getting a little a little post depression with the Game of Thrones going away, and it's just, you know. But I love the dragon stuff. This terrain really looks like World Machine to me right here on the bottom.
It does. Totally.
And man, I'm just loving the fire. I'm actually curious how he's going about doing the fire.
Yeah.
Because like it could just be that he planned it this way and he had the stock, but you know, like how is he directing the fire? Is he?
You could do. I mean, does that look like it's repeated and just flopped?
I can't tell. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I can't tell. Yeah,
it's
right
so interesting seeing some of these that he's done. You know, ones that you can tell he spent a decent amount of time on. You know, versus the ones he did at NAB, which were just like, you know, slap it together.
Yeah.
I mean, watching his process was super cool. You know, but I don't know, just being able to like see some of these larger scale ones that look a bit higher quality.
Yeah.
The chat's completely down now.
I refreshed it and it's just not coming up, but I can still see. I can still see it. Anyway, yeah. Impulse said Game of Thrones PTSD. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we go, we're gonna do our little segment called Mograph Recommends. I got it right that time.
Yeah. Good job.
I got it right. And we're going to ask you some of these questions. Hopefully you did a little bit of homework on this beforehand. But if not, you know, whatever. I know the hardest one for people is usually life hacks. So let's start with your favorite movie.
Probably The Fifth Element.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
It's
either between that, Hackers, or SLC Punk.
Oh, I love SLC Punk.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was such a good movie.
Oh, yeah. It's so underrated.
So underrated. Matthew Lillard is like, he is such a good actor.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I mean, that was, I think, his best movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
did you see him in the new what's the show that was on back in the day?
That one.
No, with the Laura Palmer who got killed.
Laura Palmer who got killed.
What's that? Twin Peaks. Yeah. Did you see him in the new Twin Peaks? Oh yeah.
I've never watched Twin Peaks.
Oh man, he was so good. Dude, Twin Peaks
check it out.
is a weird show.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved the adventure.
There's like a couple movies too, right?
What?
There's a couple movies.
Yeah.
I started to watch one of the movies and I like wasn't really into it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I mean, it's, you know,
it was weird.
It's David Lynch, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's out there.
And I like art house movies for sure.
He does weird stuff, and it's like he's got no. I don't know if he's necessarily got rhyme or reason for what he's doing. Nick was explaining. Pickle Nick was explaining like Game of Thrones to me the other day, and he was saying there are two different types of writing styles. One where I guess you kind of know the story, and another one which is like you discover the story as you write. And I feel like David Lynch is one of those people. You know, like you never know what to expect in the next episode.
Right.
You know, but Twin Peaks, I mean, there's so much like pop culture references to Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
You should at least watch it for that. But man, it is effing weird. And the third season that they just did like a year or two ago was it was so well done. It was very pretty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
I gotta check that out.
What about music?
I go through a lot of music.
This has got to be interesting, like knowing your background, like, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always been, like, kind of a collector of, like, as much music as I can, like, kind of sample and get my hands on. But right now, really into drum and bass, in a big drum and bass phase.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Left Field and Prodigy.
Do you have
really
different things that you listen to when you're working as opposed to just hanging out, or?
I mean, I definitely have stuff that I listen to on my own versus with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I guess. I guess I try and stay away from like more lyric focused stuff
Yeah.
while I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
But if a song has lyrics, I don't mind. I don't know. I go through like very particular phases where like, okay, this week I only listen to drum and bass and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week it's like all reggae. Like it flips.
Let's be
a
honest,
lot.
nobody listens to reggae.
Dude, I'm from Florida. I don't know.
No, my brother actually
Real
has
life-
like this horrible, like he was like, he's just like hates reggae with a passion. It's like if it's
Yeah.
reggae, it's crap. It's like no more reggae.
I have to disagree. I have to disagree on that.
I
But
don't know.
I listen to a lot of different kinds of stuff.
Now, what about if you're writing your own stuff? What do you tend to gravitate toward?
Well, right now I like breakbeat and like 90s kind of not house but electronic, I suppose,
Mhm.
like techno stuff. Just because I've been working on this hackers thing for a while, and I'm like, or at least thinking about it, and so I'm just in that kind of mindset. So that's what I've been doing.
Like Mortal Kombat theme song?
Maybe a little toned down, but I guess that's in the ballpark.
There were those like bass. Remember like Bass Nectar and all those CDs that came out like in the late
Yeah.
90s or early 2000s, and just like random, like I don't know, like it wasn't EDM back then. I don't know what it was.
Right.
Just techno music, I guess.
Well, I was really into like Sebastian and Justice in high school, and, like the early like Ed Banger
Yeah,
crew.
yeah,
Like I
How
was
old are you,
really
Nick?
into that. I'm 26.
yeah.
Baby.
So the
Baby.
the Ed Banger,
26.
the DVNO video with all the
Oh,
like the what do you call them? Like the idents, the graphic idents, old school looking idents, and the
all that kind of artwork, like
Yeah.
super inspiring to me back then.
Well, that was always kind of the joke back in the day too, when Grayscale Gorilla was kind of new.
Mhm.
He's like, everybody just takes their stuff and puts a Justice track on it, and
Right.
they got a demo reel.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I mean Cross was like super inspiring to me because like they made that in GarageBand.
Really?
Cross
Really?
was made in GarageBand. I mean,
Jeez.
that just
I
says
did
so
not know
much
that.
about like, complaining about not having the right tools to do something.
Right.
Yo, GarageBand.
Well, what kind of
Come on.
software did you use to make that? If I have that
I mean-
software, I'll be just as good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, they push that like limitation to the max. Obviously, they're not using it anymore. Like all their stuff is like super produced now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Have
don't
they
know,
put
that
anything
was-
out recently?
awesome.
Feels like it's
yeah, their like recent like live album won a Grammy.
Oh, really? See, I kind
Um,
of stopped listening. I stopped following them. I should go back and
Well, yeah, their live edits were really good. I saw them a couple months ago.
nice.
Seen them a few times. What was that album called?
I'm ready for Madian to come out with a new album.
Oh, Worldwide Woman.
Worldwide.
Yeah,
Woman.
that song won a bunch of awards. Or Woman Worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's just like live edits of like their stuff from their previous 2 records. But
What about TV shows?
I think my favorite from the past few years was Mr. Robot.
Oh, nice.
I really
Yeah, that's
like
good.
Mr. Robot.
And do you listen to any podcasts or anything while you work,
Oh,
or
I-
is that on the?
Probably Battlestar.
What's that?
Probably Battlestar as well.
Oh, Battlestar.
Battlestar
Oh, yeah,
Galactica.
yeah.
Really up there for me.
Bears,
Um,
Beats.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again. It's been a while.
I've watched it like 3 or 4 times.
I've only watched it all the
Okay.
way through once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, because you don't like to hear talking while you're working, do you listen to a lot of podcasts, or is it?
I do. Well, I live in LA, so I'm sitting in traffic a lot.
Yeah.
So like, I go through a lot of podcasts.
I swear that's where most people listen to podcasts, is in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it really like makes the time go faster for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I listen to The Collective when there's someone that I, am interested in listening to, but a lot of the Joe Rogan podcast too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. The Elon one, man, classic.
Oh yeah, that's great. I also
mixed things about the Joe Rogan podcast.
Well,
I like the scientists and people who have like some really like interesting stuff to say, like some philosophers, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
he can get a little conspiratorial, can he?
Yeah, I actually really like his interviewing style because he never pushes against people.
Right.
Like he really lets like the guest have their own time and platform to talk, which is kind of refreshing. Like if you watch any other interviewers, it's like they're pushing something against whoever they brought on.
Right.
So I'm wondering why did you do this? But like, yeah, I like Joe's passiveness. But when he makes a joke, like obviously it's pretty funny. But
yeah, his stand-up is actually really good.
Oh, I love it. It's awesome.
I liked him on that radio show or whatever.
Radio show?
What's it called? Wasn't he on the news radio?
Fear
wasn't
Factor.
he on news radio?
News radio.
Oh.
I
Wasn't
don't
he
think
on
was
news radio?
News radio. He was on Fear Factor.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of someone
Maybe
else.
I'm thinking of someone else.
I think you are.
I also listen to like a lot of movie analysis from YouTube in the car. It's something I've been really into lately.
Yeah, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan was in that show?
Yeah, dude. He played like the janitor or something.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He was hilarious.
On news radio.
Joe Rogan. That's the only place that I know him from.
Weird. Okay.
I'm like, because everyone talks about his podcast, and I'm like, the dude from news radio?
That's
really?
so random. I had no idea. Yeah, I remember he was on Fear Factor. He was a host of Fear Factor, and yeah, weird. All right, how about plugin? What's your favorite plugin?
Probably X Particles.
Cool.
That's a good one.
Have Essential.
That's what a lot of people say.
I mean, it's great.
And what headphones are you wearing? You got to have some good headphones, right?
I prefer the AKG 602. That's what I have. These are some Sony like noise canceling headphones. They're not crazy or anything.
Well, what makes you choose one over the other, I guess?
Well, for noise canceling, I actually hate the Bose.
Really?
Like
Ooh,
wow.
that is fighting words.
Now, why is that?
Well, because it is all like personal taste at this point. But like I feel like they're putting pressure on my head, and like the Sonys that cost $100, like they provide noise canceling without the pressure, or it's like at like my like tolerance.
I've heard so many people refer to it as pressure. Why do people feel that that's...
Well, because I mean, like noise canceling kind of works.
Yeah.
It sends the
inverse
opposite
wave
sound.
Yeah, it was
signal.
like right. It's like phase cancellation.
Right.
So like I think that they're just pumping so much signal into your head that you're like dying, because like those waves are going somewhere, and like I think it's just so dense, like what they're doing, because you really don't hear anything around you when you have them on.
Yeah.
Like they definitely do the job.
Gosh, I like that,
but at the cost of at the cost of your comfort. They're literally called quiet comfort, and I'm so uncomfortable wearing them. It's insane. But like the Sonys do a good job.
Your comfort level is very quiet. Like it's I was trying to make a joke there. Didn't work.
Oh yeah. Anyways, but, Yeah, yeah, the Sonys do the job for me. But I prefer like the open back AKGs. They're just massive. Like they have these giant like pillows basically. They're over ear.
Yeah, and see, I've mentioned before, I like the I love the bows, but like for this show, I can't use them because the cancellation is too good.
It's too, yeah.
Got to hear
You
what's
can't
going
hear
on.
yourself talk, and like you
That
just
too.
feel
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Favorite. Okay, we've changed this a little bit, but website or Chrome extension. You could also say app. I need to change that, but website, Chrome extension, or app on your phone. Something kind of appy, extension-y, just ad block. Yeah. Well, what about on your phone? Like, what's your go-to app on your phone? Something that's more, not necessarily Facebook or something, but do you have an app that you use a lot?
I use Hours Tracker. It, it's just like a timesheet app, but it has a nice like location feature. So like when I go to work at studios, like I'll just make like a job or like a profile for that studio, and then I'll set like a radius of that, like where I need to be within that studio, like within the space to like count time. And
Hours
whenever
Tracker
I pull
is the
in,
one
like,
with
it
the
automatically
pig.
like yeah
I have that.
I like that a lot.
So you set that radius, and what does that do though?
Well, it clocks you in and out.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
so like you don't even have to think about it, like because I forget little things like that all the time. Like I'm always looking to like automate as much as possible.
Man, I should update my app. Jeez.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, so like if I go out to lunch, like it clocks me out, and then when I get back, it like automatically puts me in. I mean, it's it rounds it so I don't have to deal with weird numbers.
I like the geo
just,
thing, man. That's. I mean, I haven't used this app in probably 2 or 3 years. Since we started doing our own thing. I did use it to keep track of some really like meticulous projects for a while, but man, like sounds like they really improved it.
Yeah, like even though I'm on like a daily rate for most of these places, it's still nice to have that information just there in case I need it.
Yeah.
And I was hourly when I was in sound, and I just use this thing all the time, and like, it calculates like the hours and the taxes, and then, like everything is just done in the app. Yeah,
the thing means the taxes.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Lastly, life hack, the hard one.
Honestly, post haste. That thing's awesome. The folder maker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's huge.
So that's your favorite.
I think also like especially for in LA, Waze, and like having it sync to your calendar and
oh yeah, that is pretty cool.
like planning your drives.
Yeah.
Dude, like saved my butt so many times. Like in the mornings, like if there's an accident on the 405,
yeah,
and like it's gonna take me an extra half an hour to get to work, it will let me know, like
what time
you
to
need
leave.
to leave now.
Yeah,
that's like I just
great.
will, the night before, like I'll set what time I want to be at my destination, and it's like all right, and it's always looking. So
and it will tell you a little bit ahead of time, so you can get ready, get your keys, get your shoes.
Yeah. Like
nowadays there's no excuse to be late for work.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, even then, like, I'll set myself, like, I'll give myself, like, an extra 15-minute window. Because in LA, it's ridiculous. You never know.
Man.
But, yeah, I think just, like, staying on top of, like, your timetables, especially, like, if you're freelance like this, is super important. And you want to do, like, extra stuff on the side, like these personal projects, which I think are super important.
Yeah.
Just time anything having to do with time management is like I will look into that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. Well, I think we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
And get back to work. We got a lot of work we can do. We got to do tonight.
Yeah.
And in the next.
Thanks for having me on.
We've got, I got the site up here. This is nscr.tv. Nick Scarcella. Make sure you check him out. Follow him on Instagram and all the places. You're on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone under 30 is on Instagram.
You never know. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm on Instagram, but I'm not on Twitter. I'm like, really? All right. Well, you can check out all the work here. And hopefully that new piece is going to be up on here pretty soon, too, right?
Oh, yeah. No,
So,
for sure.
I'm look forward to
ready
that.
to stop working on that.
And you can rate us on iTunes. Leave a review. Helps get our ratings up. You can subscribe on your podcatcher of choice and subscribe to our newsletter. You can do that through our site now, mograph.com. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, Paul Babb, Feel the Bab 2020 shirt, all the profits from that. Go to Doctors Without Borders, the Render Things hoodie, shirt, and long sleeve tee. You can get all those things on Amazon. And we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, mograph.com. Make sure that you get your Camp Mograph ticket.
Yes.
This week for that early bird pricing. Make sure that you help us with this video. I'll play the song after the show for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And
we got to get that on Spotify.
Yeah, we'll get on Spotify. Start sharing it with your friends and stuff. Let's make like 4 people like subscribe to it on Spotify. I'll get 4 people subscribed to my playlist.
My playlist is fire, yo.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. We're going to get out of here.
Let's do it.
All right. Till next week. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Nick.
There you go.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Cool.
All right.
I gotta go let the dog out.
Who? All right. Let's play it again. Here we go.
Who made the track?
I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. I want to give you a banana. Girl, I want to give you a banana.
Such a weird song.
Girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs, girl. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. Squeeze me with your monkey legs. I want to give you a banana. Girl. I want to give you a banana. Girl, I want to give you a banana. I I want to give you a banana.
Weird. I can't believe you made me sit through that twice.
Well, sorry. All right, let me shut off the live stream. Thanks, everybody.